Hey everyone! So we are here live in the Using Essential Oils Safely Facebook group, and I am here to answer all of your questions related to essential oils or hydrosols or anything like that. Hey everyone! I am just pulling up a separate window so that I can see all of your comments and your questions, and just to make sure that I can see them all, because this eCam that I'm using doesn't always show me all of your messages. So hey, who's ready to hang out tonight? I got my tea ready here in my awesome cup right here with my logo on it, which is super exciting and fun. So what are you guys up to? What is your struggle when it comes to using essential oils? And how can I help? This is something that I would like to do regularly for you guys, is pop on in here and answer your questions related to essential oils and just overall help you. I know that a lot of times when you post your question to Facebook, there's a little bit of time that you have to wait for an answer. So I just thought I'd pop in here and take them live. So hey Amy, hey everybody that's here watching now. I see there's quite a few of you already online. That's exciting. Sometimes Facebook takes a few minutes to notify everybody. So if you have any questions at all, I am actually going to be pulling up a lot of information from my website and screen sharing with you. So instead of simply, hey, you can find it over here in the website, which I might do from time to time as well, I'm actually going to pull that right up and do a screen share with you so that you can be walked right through that information, so that you can get your information immediately without having to necessarily go over there. Hey Annette, thanks so much for joining. So I am just going to really quickly show you what I mean by that. So here we have our website, Using Essential Oils Safely or using eossafely.com. Either one will get you here. And this is our main page right here. Now, if you are looking for something, you're not really sure what, you can find our free EO classes right here, the latest posts right there. You can find, of course, a link to my book here, which is on pre-order, and then some recipes down here. But there's an awesome search functionality right in this website. You can click this magnifying glass, as well as you can click A to Z topics, and it will bring you right over to all of our topic listings. So just wanted to show you that really quickly in case you were not sure exactly what was going on with that. So let's see, we are getting a few questions, so let's go ahead and take these one at a time. Hey Sharon, thanks so much for joining, and Diana and Jennifer, Amy and Deborah. So Diana's question is, what is the best essential oil to utilize in a homemade spray cleanser disinfectant for cleaning kitchen and bathroom areas, and ratios please? So this is super cool because we just went over this in the essential oil blending class that we just had, and which just ended just the other day, and our last class was on cleaning. There was a bonus PDF section on cleaning recipes, and my favorite essential oils to use for cleaning that I shared over there are tea tree and lemon essential oils, because they are safe for kids. So if you're spritzing around your little ones, it's okay if they happen to inhale it. There's no pregnancy warnings or breastfeeding warnings, and they kill germs, and lemon smells amazing. So lemon and tea tree are excellent. Add them to hydrogen peroxide as a base instead of vinegar. And you can do a search right here in this group, but there was this amazing study done by this chemist who tried thieves oil and thieves spray and bleach and vinegar and peroxide, all of these different things, to find that hydrogen peroxide was the best at killing germs. So since I learned that a couple of years ago, and we did share the link here in this group, I've stopped using vinegar and now I use hydrogen peroxide. Now, as for the ratios, I add a 2% I create a 2% dilution. So that would be 12 drops of essential oils per ounce of your hydrogen peroxide. So you can do the math. Just, if you have a 2-ounce bottle or an 8-ounce bottle, just use 12 drops per ounce. And you can use a combination of tea tree and lemon. You can do half and half. You can do mostly lemon, mostly tea tree, whatever that you choose. But that would be my absolute best germ-killing spray for kitchen and bathroom. Hey, Amy. Actually, I could have added that right to the broadcast. There we go. Awesome. So now that I know that feature is here, I'm going to have to go ahead and use that. Cool. So how do I get it off? That is the question. Maybe if I click on it again. Oh, here we go. Cool. That's awesome. So let's see. Here's the next question. What diffuser do you recommend? So my favorite diffuser is the Jasmine diffuser by Stadler Form, because it diffuses 10 minutes on, 20 minutes off, which is a really great diffusing ratio. It diffuses just enough to kind of get things going, then it shuts off, it gives you some space. Those intermittent diffusers that go like 15 seconds on and off is just too much. You're really not getting any breathing room to kind of have your body kind of not have that olfactory fatigue and get too much essential oil. And of course, you don't want to diffuse 24/7. So the Jasmine, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in here to the Jasmine. And you may have to, if that link doesn't bring you directly to one that's in stock, you may have to do a little bit of hunting around for that on Amazon, but just type in Jasmine diffuser and it should bring you right there where you need to be. All right, so next question. I've heard marjoram is good for snoring. I'd love legit safe usage on that. Huppy is killing me. I hear you. I just bought earplugs a few days ago and they work really well. But as for essential oils, you can use some of the sedative essential oils that, was it anti-congest? Now you have me wondering. I'll suggest both of them to you, but we had an amazing testimonial. I think it was actually on the anti-congest essential oils page. Let me go ahead and see if I can find that for you right now. So I have my comments up, but I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to actually click snoring because I'm pretty sure that's going to help me locate exactly where this is. No, and of course it's not. Okay, so that must not... Okay, let's go ahead, anti-congest. If I can type it right. It actually might work, but, oh geez. Okay, I'm just going to type the URL in because I actually know that. Anti-congest EOS. Then what I'll do is I'll find snoring on the page. Is it this one or sedative? I could have sworn it was the anti-congest one. Maybe for some reason it's not pulling it up. Let me see. Oh, I know why. Because it's probably right here in one of my testimonials that's an image. Okay, it must not be this page. Let me go ahead over to our sedative blend. I've had great success, stories from people who have tried the anti-congest and the sedative both and have had great success. Okay, so here we go, and have good results. The thing with the anti-congest is it's going to help open things up. Of course, all snoring is not going to be solved by essential oils, but it can help. So here's a testimonial here. My husband goes to bed earlier than I do. I came into our room last night and he was snoring loudly. I decided to diffuse your Sandman blend to see if it would help get him into a deeper sleep and help with the snoring. Guess what? I added 5 drops to a small diffuser in our room. By the time I finished my nighttime routine and went back into our bedroom, his snoring had stopped. I didn't hear anything the rest of the night from him. Thank you, Leah. So this is the Sandman recipe here. So this is our master blend, which means you are going to create your very own blend, just like you would purchase from any company. You are going to take a 5 ml bottle and add 40 drops of cedarwood, preferably Atlas, 30 drops of sandalwood, my preference is Australian, 15 drops of vanilla, and 15 drops of vetiver. So this is my master blend. So out of this master blend, you get 100 drops, and you're going to take 5 of those, or at least did, she took 5 drops and diffused it. And that is generally a good rule of thumb when diffusing anyways, is 5, maybe 10 drops when you are diffusing. If you wanted to, you could just create this one time and do something like maybe 3 drops cedarwood, 2 drops sandalwood, and 1 drop vanilla and 1 drop vetiver, or something like that if you wanted to. But this is a great blend that can help for snoring. And again, the anti-congest blend as well can help, especially if it's related to being sick. So that can help as well. Great question. All right, so let's switch it back around here. As far as marjoram specifically, that is a good one. It is calming. That can work, but there are going to be better choices too. So I would highly look into those other options. So let's see what the other questions are. I love this. I didn't realize I could actually add your questions right to the broadcast. That is super awesome. So let me see. I just got a message from somebody saying, I think you should consider a class on hydrosols. You know what? I was snow blowing a couple of hours ago, and that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, you know what? I need to do a course on hydrosols. I gotta do it. So what do you guys think? It's just funny. So yes, Dan, that's a great idea. Okay, so my questions that I'm seeing here. You are welcome. I'm seeing a thank you. I'm seeing somebody tagged somebody else. That's great. Thank you so much for tagging your friends. Make sure they are part of this group or they aren't going to actually get in here. Only people who are part of this group are able to see this live feed. And I'm seeing a lot of you guys are on right now. So let me find the next question. All right, so let's see. This is a long question. I haven't quite read it all yet, but let me see if it will actually show here. Yay! Along the same lines as what you're talking about with that diffuser, what do you recommend when diffusing around a toddler? How long on off? Using a frankincense, lemon, lavender blend. Read that's good with a cough. Any other suggestions? You can actually diffuse the same length of time. It's really pretty much for anybody that you really don't want that olfactory fatigue to kick in, because then your body's not going to acknowledge those aromas anymore, and it's really not going to be very therapeutic for you. It's similar to over drinking water or overeating food. Is food good for you? Yes. Should you drink water? Absolutely. But there's a point where you are going to have too much that your body just can't handle it anymore. It's just not going to be a great idea. Another thing you can do with toddlers, especially if you're talking about a cough, is you can make up a blend and you can spritz it directly on their shirt. So make up some sort of spray, spritz it on their shirt, put it on their teddy bear. Hydrosols can also be good as well. But fir needle essential oil is my number one be-all, end-all for coughing, for congestion. Forget eucalyptus. Forget the whole debate, is eucalyptus safe on my underage 10-year-old? Who cares? Let's just talk about what is more effective. Fir needle. Spruce and pine can also be great, but fir needle, I'm telling you, is super, super effective. I'm getting excited. I'm going to spill my tea all over the place. Is super, super effective. So use fir needle. I use fir needle. I did spill a little bit. Not too much. I use fir needle. My kids use fir needle. It is super, super effective. So if you haven't tried it yet, you have to try it, and you will see it's way more effective than eucalyptus and peppermint. So go ahead and try that. Frankincense, lemon, and lavender can also be great for a cough. Excellent choices. Totally fine. That's great. Another thing you can do as well is make a linen spray, spritz it on their bedding. There's so many different ways, but the key is you want to inhale it. Make up a personal inhaler. That can be another way as well. And of course, teas. Teas are amazing. Herbal teas. Don't forget herbs. I know this group is all about using essential oils safely, but sometimes essential oils aren't the only thing that we can use for efficacy. You are welcome. Okay, so let me go to the next question. Do you recommend any specific blends for the flu? So here's the thing, speaking of herbs, you really want to build up your immune system when you are fighting colds and flu. So we do have a couple of posts over on our website, which I'll get to in a minute, but I just want to spend a minute letting you guys know that you have to take things as soon as you start feeling like you might get sick. And I know it's harder for kids because they don't always they're not always as in tune with their bodies. I think it may be easier for us as we get older to go, oh, I thought I was getting sick. I knew I should have taken something. And what I do, and I've actually done this a couple of times this winter already and have avoided getting sick, is I take herbal supplements. Gaia Health has wonderful herbal supplements. I like the Whole Body Defense. I like Quick Defense. There's Echinacea. There's, what's the other one? Elderberry extracts, and they're in capsules. And, you know, you just take one or two, and I don't mess around. If I feel like I'm getting sick, I'll take one of each or two, however many that they recommend. I'll make herbal teas. There's traditional medicinals. The tea I have right now, this is just a Lipton peach mango, which tastes absolutely delicious, but really doesn't do a whole lot for you per se. But there's great herbal teas. But my number one, and I'm going to go over here too. Let me go ahead and show you my screen so that you can see what I'm showing you here. Let me go ahead and expand. There we go. Is my elderberry recipe. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to put elderberry in here, but there's a few different posts that will come up for this. So there's our cold and congestion posts, which is our main one that I'm going to go ahead and click through right here. And this has a whole bunch of tips for you guys on fighting colds and congestion. And of course, I mentioned not too long ago, I went to the anti-congest post already here. There's anti-germ recipes as well. Elderberry syrup info. So this is my recipe that I created years ago. I still use, still love. You can find help with sinus issues, how to do a steam inhalation, which is amazing, and links to an effective lymph massage as well. And here's just a few related links too. So where is my elderberry recipe? So here it is. There's a ton of information on here, okay? It's just a bunch of information for you to decide what is going to work for your specific situation, because colds and flu, it's, you know, there's varying kinds, but it all comes down to immunity. And if you can take something right as soon as you feel like you are coming down with something, you can probably avert it, or at least lessen the duration of it. If you wait, like my daughter, who's, you know, she's had a fever, she's had a cough, and we're on like day 4 or 5, and she doesn't like taking things. And she's like, oh, what can I take, Mom? I'm like, well, you can do this, this, and that, but you know, you're kind of, you already have it at this point. So take the stuff. Hopefully it'll cut down on the duration, but next time listen to your mother, right? Okay, so my elderberry syrup recipe, super easy. You can totally buy elderberry syrup. You can do that, but it's pretty expensive, and it's usually more sweet than I personally like. So this is all you need to do. Okay, super simple. So 2 cups of water, bring to a boil, add a 1/2 cup of dried elderberries. So the hardest thing is to make sure you can find elderberries, because typically this time of year, they're out of stock, or harder to find. But if you can find them, check Amazon. I like Frontier, Star West Botanicals. There's other brands on there as well. You can hopefully find them locally. Mountain Rose Herbs also generally has them. So a 1/2 cup of dried elderberries, throw in a cinnamon stick, 5 whole cloves, and a tablespoon of freshly grated ginger. So let me give you a tip of what I do to always have freshly grated ginger. Okay, this is what I do. I buy fresh ginger and I freeze it. It, you know, freezing kind of like stalls or halts. It's decomposing and decaying and going bad, right? So it's always kind of fresh. It's going to be potent. It's going to be just as full of all the nutrients that you need when it's frozen. So I pull it out of the baggie or container, whatever that I use to throw my ginger in, and I take my micro grater and I just shred it. It's frozen, but it will shred right into I actually have it in my tea, not right now, but I put it in tea. You can use it for elderberry syrup. This way, please don't use the ground stuff. It does not taste the same. It does not act the same. It's already dried and dehydrated, unless you've actually dehydrated your very own fresh ginger, which is the other thing you can do. Just shred up a whole bunch and freeze that. But I like to just freeze the whole piece of ginger, shred it as I need it. And that's all you have to do. Throw all that in boiling water, simmer it. until liquid is reduced by half. And this is so flexible. You know, you can totally do it however you want to. So for about 30 minutes, remove from heat. And you know what? There have been times I've let it sit a couple hours. Let's face it, things get busy. We're moms. We're busy doing other things. And it's okay. It's just that more concentrated. Use a strainer, strain it all down. I like to press on the berries a bit. And you know what? What I'll do sometimes is I will throw everything back in, especially the berries, and I will throw more water in and I will boil that down again. And then I will add that again. I generally don't do that more than twice. Just to get as much as I can out of my berries. So you can add some honey. I generally don't add any honey, but you can add honey to it then, or you can add honey to it as you use it. If you do add the honey, it will go bad faster than if you leave it without the honey. You do want to refrigerate it. It will keep a couple of weeks. I generally like to make it and consume it within a couple of days because I'm going to be consuming it frequently. And you really can't have too much. The worst thing that can happen if you have too much is you could have some diarrhea. But you really can't have, I've had a half a cup of this before. You don't have to tiptoe around this. Okay, so have a couple teaspoons, tablespoons, have, an inch at the bottom of your glass if you feel like things are, you're getting sick. So that is my recipe here. And this is found on our colds and congestion page, which is full of tons of other information. And you can find this by, typing in, use the microphone, the magnifying glass and type in elderberry, or just go to usingeossafely.com/colds. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and answer the next question. I love your questions. You guys are awesome. So let's see what the next one is here. Let me see where I left off. Okay, so here's a comment. So love the idea for linen spray, etc. too, and all those other ideas. You are welcome. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Do I have a specific blend for pain? There are a lot of essential oils that are great for pain. And I love all these questions because these are things that we just went over it's been 14 weeks of awesome fun and recipes in our blending class. It's been so much fun. So we went over all of the essential oils. Yes, for pain. There's great essential oils for pain. So let me go ahead and see what I have right here on the website. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around for you so you can see it too. We do have a post called Using Essential Oils for Pain. We also have a couple of other posts coming up because where I do these free essential oil classes every week, I do have benefits on the essential oils, and pain is something that can come up pretty frequently. But let me go ahead and click directly on our pain link right here. And there's a ton of information in here. So all pain is not created equally. There's going to be different pain levels. There's going to be different, I'm going to click that off just so that you guys can hopefully read this a little bit better. There's going to be, in fact, if I zoom this in a little bit, is that going to help you? I don't know how well you guys can see this. If I zoom in, maybe that will help you be able to read some of this text. But you know where to find it too. Just go to usingeossafely.com/pain. So again, depends on the type of pain. If you could follow up, and hopefully I can catch your comments, I can help you more specifically. But if we're talking for topical pain, like on the skin, whether it's muscular pain, maybe nerve pain, aches and pains, that type of pain, then there's going to be several essential oils that are going to be helpful for that. Copaiba is a great one. Helichrysum's a great one. Peppermint, black pepper, sweet marjoram, black spruce, rosemary, lavender, spike lavender, cedarwood. There's a lot of different ones that are great for pain. Now, there's two recipes specifically that I have for like really intense pain. And that is my no flames recipe, no inflammation, no flames. And I'm going to click on that in a minute. And then I also have an anti-inflammatory post as well for you that can help with more inflammatory pain like joints and arthritis and that kind of thing as well. So let me click on the No More Flames recipe because this one, I mean, this is pretty intense and amazing here. This was actually one of my very first recipes that I needed to create to pass and become a certified aromatherapist. So this actually has a couple of essential oils that may not be something that you have immediate access to, such as the spikenard. You can go ahead and swap out the spikenard for something different if that's not something you have, but it is great for inflammation. It is great for pain. So this is my recipe: patchouli, ylang ylang, German chamomile, ginger, spikenard, helichrysum, and myrrh. And the key here too is not just the essential oils that you are using, but also the carrier. What sort of base are you adding these essential oils to? Are you using something that is also therapeutic for pain? Please don't tell me you are using something like fractionated coconut oil, because if you haven't heard, that is not my favorite because it is completely stripped of anything that was ever decent in coconut oil. The fractionated coconut oil is very processed, and there's no therapeutic value to it at all. Obviously, if that's the only thing you have, you don't want to apply essential oils directly to your skin. You could have redness, irritation, and all of that stuff if that's all you have. But please try to just use it up and get something that's better. Now, especially for pain, my best recommendations are, if you're going to use a lotion for pain, use an arnica lotion. Now, right here, I do have a link to this arnica lotion that I specifically use from Tropical Traditions. I absolutely love it. So it's a plain unscented lotion, and they add arnica to it and a couple of other essential oils for pain as well. Another option is trauma oil, and this is an herbal infused oil with arnica, helichrysum, and St. John's wort. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, a lot of times you can get away just with using arnica lotion or just with using the trauma oil. So imagine how awesome that it is when you combine these wonderful base carriers with the essential oils as well. You have a wonderful, wonderful product. Now, that is my recipe. I do have substitutions down here, where to find and all of that information. If you are interested, you just go to usingeossafely.com/noflames. But I'm actually going to back out of here and click on the anti-inflammatory class, because this is one that has other essential oils as well. In general, that can be great for inflammation. And as you can see here, we have the chamomiles, we have copaiba and frankincense and ginger, helichrysum, lavender, peppermint, sandalwood, spikenard, ylang ylang. A lot of those are found in the recipe I just showed you, but not all of them. And then we have some essential oils that are also useful, maybe not the main players, what I call them. And then, of course, I do have indicated here some of the ones that have some safety issues, which I've listed here. Some may not be safe for children. Some may interact with medications, have a topical match. So those are things that you want to keep in mind if you are creating your own blends. And then I have two options here, if you don't want to start from scratch, for making your own anti-inflammatory master blends. So again, this would be, you're taking an empty 5 ml bottle, and you are adding 100 drops of essential oil to make your very own blend. That you then take the essential oils out of there, you add them to your diffuser, you add them to your carriers to help with pain or whatever that you need, you add them to your personal inhalers. So here are two recipes that are excellent. We have copaiba, helichrysum, and frankincense, and then we have a blend of lavender, Bulgarian, Roman chamomile, and Australian sandalwood for the second blend as well. So there's just a couple of options there for you, and I've listed the different safety issues here and the different ways you can use it in a lotion, in a bath, in a roller bottle. So there's different options for you there. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. I hope I was thorough enough for you. I tend to try to make sure I'm very thorough. Okay, so let's see what the next question is. Where am I? Okay, so my son is 10 months old. Are there any oils safe to diffuse in his room? So yes, if your son is over, or any child over the age of 6 months can then be exposed to diffusing essential oils that are safe for children. We generally recommend avoiding using topically until they're 2. There are going to be a couple of exceptions like bug bites or chicken pox or things like that. But generally you want to use hydrosols or herbal balms or things like that rather than essential oils. So let's go ahead. I'm going to swap my screen back over to show you the essential oils that are safe for children. So I'm just going to click here and type children. And again, the other way you can do it is click A to Z topics and everything's going to be alphabetical. So we have about using ready-made chest rubs in young children, but this is the one I want here. This is the using essential oils safely with children. And yes, my intent is to eventually make a little ebook, maybe a print book, do a little course for you guys as well. There's a ton of information on this post. In fact, let me go ahead and just get that question off just for a minute, because then you guys can maybe see a little bit better what is on the screen here. So there's a lot of information here. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but just cautioning you on using essential oils with children, signs of overuse, talking about therapeutic grade, and the essential oil safe to use with children. So there's general recommendations for safety, which I already went over. After the age of 6 months, you can diffuse. After the age of 2 years, you can start using topically. So here are some of the essential oils that, when used appropriately in the right situations with a proper dilution and application, the following essential oils are not known to produce adverse reactions when used with children. So there are going to be probably more on here that can be safe for children, but here are some to get you started. And the list, we have bergamot, black pepper, blue tansy, cedarwood, clary sage, copaiba, coriander, cypress, frankincense, German chamomile, geranium, ginger, grapefruit, juniper berry, helichrysum, lavender, lemon, mandarin, sweet marjoram, neroli, palmarosa, patchouli, petitgrain, pines, except for ponderosa pine or Huon pine. We have Roman chamomile, sandalwood, Siberian fir needle, or it's usually referred to as fir needle, and it's Siberian. Spearmint, spruces, sweet marjoram, sweet orange, tangerine, tea tree, and vetiver. It looks like I have sweet marjoram in here twice. So, as long as you aren't, applying them directly to your child's skin without diluting, as long as you aren't diffusing 24/7, those are essential oils that can be safe for children. I do have a list here of essential oils to avoid and why. So like I said, this post is absolutely massive. It probably should have been an ebook, but, it's absolutely massive. So that is something that you can find over on usingeossafely.com/children. So I hope that answered your question. What I would like to know is, you want to diffuse something in this room. What I like to ask is, why do you want to diffuse? Is he sick? Do you want him to be sleepy or energetic, happy? What is it? Because you generally don't want to just diffuse to diffuse. I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I don't have diffusers running 24/7. I just don't. I only diffuse when I need to. Now that could be, I feel like I need a little bit of energy, or maybe I need some focus, or maybe I need to kill some germs. There's always an intent behind me using essential oils, and that includes diffusing. So I would look to, okay, what exactly do I need to diffuse for my 10-month-old, and go from there and find out what essential oils for that specific reason are going to be safe for your child. And that goes for anybody. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. So this is for kids. How many spoons is okay? I'm sure this refers back to the elderberry. Generally, you are going to start with just a teaspoon, and work up from there, especially if it's something that you're new to, just to be safe. my kids and I, my family, we are used to taking elderberry. So like I said, I mean, I'll have like an inch of it in a glass, and that works fine for me. So you can take it every few hours too. So if it's just the teaspoon, you probably want to have it every 3 to 4 hours. Especially if you're actively sick, you'll definitely want to take more. But it can be used to boost the immune system. Unlike essential oils, which really don't boost the immune system, herbs actually do. Here's another one. Any recommendations on oil to support underactive thyroid? Unfortunately, essential oils do not help with thyroid issues. There are a few things that essential oils just don't help with, and thyroid issues, unfortunately, that's one of them. So if you're seeing all these crazy expensive blends all over the internet, this is going to help your thyroid, don't bother. If you do, be prepared. It's probably not going to work and going to be a waste of money. Essential oils just don't help with that. I'm sorry to say. Is lemongrass safe to diffuse around an 18-month-old? Yes, lemongrass is safe to diffuse around an 18-month-old. So let's go ahead, because just today, I actually posted about the safety of lemongrass essential oil. So let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, here we go. So as you can see here, it looks like I need to specify right here. I'm glad you pointed this out, because now I'm back here going, you know what? I kind of should fix this right here. It is safe for everyone except around cats, but also technically it's not safe to use topically around ages 2+, which you can see right here. Let me make myself a note because I want to make that more clear. So lemongrass, safety, add 2+. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that afterwards. So here's the safety for lemongrass essential oil. Not recommended around cats, naturally. Safe around dogs, breastfeeding, pregnancy. So here's the thing, and I'm so glad you asked this question, because not a lot of people understand there can be different safety, especially with children, when it comes to inhalation and topical use. So it is absolutely safe to diffuse around your 18-month-old. It is safe to diffuse around any age. However, using topically, it's not recommended until they're at least 2 years old. And this is due to the fact that it needs such a low topical max. Even adults, when you use this topically, need to dilute this to 0.7% because it is a sensitizer. So if you use it above that dilution, you are opening yourself up to irritation, sensitization. If you are using this on damaged skin, then it could also increase your chances of irritation or redness. It can also interfere with certain medications as well, but mostly you want to be careful whenever using it topically, and that's for any age. It is just, it's not the same as lemon at all. It does need a very low dilution when applying to the skin. When you're diffusing it, it's not an issue. Oops, I'm just trying to get my face back over here so I can see more of your questions. Okay, so the next one, let me see. This one looks to be long. Let me see if this will add or not to the broadcast. Yay! I am just now tuning in. I read that where the plants grow can dictate the type of therapeutic properties an essential oil has. Yes, that is correct. If so, is there a place I can refer to determine where the preferred location of essential oil to originate? That is a great question. I don't have an easy reference for you. But I would say if you are purchasing Bulgarian lavender and it's grown in the U.S., it's not going to be the same as Bulgarian lavender grown in Bulgaria. So that's just one example. There are things that, I'm sure you could kind of Google this. I would definitely stick to, good websites that have great information, and aromatics.com has excellent information. I don't disagree with anything they have out there. Some of their blends, I would like for them to be safe for kids, but the point is that the safety information and all of that is really spot on. I absolutely love that as a reference. So that would be one recommended website that you could go to see, okay, where are these essential oils, where should these come from? Mostly like myrrh and frankincense. Those are over in the Middle East. So this is why I laugh when certain companies are like, oh, we have everything and it's grown right here in the U.S. It's like, well, where are you getting your myrrh? Because myrrh does not, grow myrrh in the U.S. And if you try, it's got to be pretty bad. I mean, there's just certain things that need to grow in certain regions of the world in order to be at their therapeutic best. So that is a great question. I would love it if there was a clear and concise reference or guide to where things should be grown. But you will find that things are going to be pretty commonly grown. Lavender can be grown in France. There's a few places where lavender can be grown. There's Bulgarian lavender, there's Spanish lavender, spike lavender, Bulgarian French. There's several different kinds that are going to be grown in different areas. But most things pretty much stick to the same area. So if you are looking up on a bunch of different websites and finding, I'm drawing a blank here, what it might be, lavender from Bulgaria, and you're finding like they're all coming up, yes, it's in France or it's in Bulgaria or it's whatever, then you can be pretty sure that that's where it should come from, as opposed to just everything being the US or whatever. So that would be a great resource to just have on hand. I'm actually going to jot that down because that would be a great reference to have, where EOs really should come from. And then you can make better decisions when you're purchasing. But when I first got started in essential oils, I wanted to figure out, the quality and all of that. And that's kind of what got me started in doing the third-party testing that we did. And I kind of pioneered that and got you guys together to pitch in. And we did all this, is really trying to figure out the quality of the essential oil and realizing, it all boils down to the GCMS reports. Because, we can make all the phone calls in the world and we can take all the tours in the world, but it's really going to be difficult to figure out, okay, what was the growing season? How much rain did they have? What temperature was this distilled at? How long was it stored? You'd have to have a lot of questions answered to really figure out, okay, is this a good essential oil? Or you can just check out the GCMS report, because that is going to reflect the quality and the therapeutic value of that essential oil instead of going through all of those questions, which are cool. And the geek inside of me was really excited to know that there's all of these little things that can actually affect the quality of essential oil. But I love that now, I believe since our third-party testing and more companies were becoming aware that, okay, the consumers are really paying attention here, we need to step up our game. And so there's a lot more companies now that do offer the GCMS report, which is wonderful and amazing. So check those out. I know it can be confusing to look at, but if you have a book like Essential Oil Safety that gives you the ranges that you should be looking for when it comes to the essential oils, it can help you figure out exactly what you are looking at, because otherwise it can be a little bit complicated, I know. Thank you so much. That's exactly why I was asking. Always a wealth of solid information. Thank you. You are very, very welcome. And I know I'm a little bit behind on these comments. I apologize for that. I just want to make sure that I'm answering these questions thoroughly. What was the names of the carrier oils you recommended? So that would be Trauma Oil. And it is expensive. It can be expensive, but I found the best place to get it is right on Amazon through Herb Farm, I think it is. I don't have it right next to me, but I believe it's Herb Farm is the company that you want to look for. It's a lot more affordable. I used to buy mine in Aromatics, and it's super high quality. In fact, I still have some. But, you're talking $50 for 4 ounces, which is quite a lot. And it's worth every penny. Just like Helichrysum is expensive, it's worth every penny. But I found Herb Farm is a little bit more affordable, so go ahead and check that out. In fact, I think I do have a link. It's using eossafely.com/trauma oil if you want to go directly to the one that I personally use. The other one would be Arnica lotion. And there's an Arnica oil as well that you can purchase. I like buying my lotions through Tropical Traditions. I think my link is using eossafely.com/TT lotion. And that's the exact one that I get. And that's just helpful for pain. And you can find, we have a carriers post too. It's using eossafely.com/carriers that goes through all the different carriers. We also have an app too that's a little bit easier to search. And that can help you match up your therapeutic properties with the situation that you are wanting to remedy. So let's go ahead over to that post. And then I can show you exactly what I mean by that. So let's go ahead to carriers. And again, this totally should have been an ebook. You know, you haven't seen me, guys. You haven't seen me a whole lot because I've been creating content. That essential oil blending class was the most fun I've ever had. It was the biggest project I've ever had, but it took a lot of time. And, you know, there's so many things I want to create for you as resources that I wish I had when I was starting out. This is one of them. I do have an app version of this, though, that you can find, but this page is huge. And this is why it's like, you know, this would be way better as an ebook or even some sort of mini course to go through, which is on my to-do list as well, unfortunately. I don't have a team of people doing everything for me. It's just me. And of course, Roxanne runs this Facebook group for me, and I'm going to try to have my daughter help me with some graphics. But as far as creating all this content, guys, you're looking at it right here. So there's a ton of information in here. What I suggest if you want to search on this page, if you don't have the app, is click Control F or Command F. And then you will have the box pop up, and you can, let's see, how about eczema? Type in eczema, and then you will see all of the times where eczema is mentioned. So we have apricot kernel oil, we have borage oil, evening primrose oil, jojoba oil, mango butter, peach kernel oil, rosehip oil, sesame oil, and shea butter, and tamanu oil as well, and sweet almond oil. Okay, and then we're here at the top again. So this is a post that you can go through, and it gives you some of the highlights of the different carrier oils, like hair. You know, argan oil is excellent for hair. There's a lot of tips with all these carrier oils. So pairing the therapeutic properties of your carriers along with your essential oils are huge and getting a really great and therapeutic result. So I highly suggest kind of expanding a little bit past, I don't know what oils you generally use. I started mainly with jojoba because it's a liquid wax. It lasts forever. It doesn't go rancid or bad like some of the other ones can go bad in a year or two, which could be fine if you're only buying a couple ounces at a time. You know, you're probably going to use it up anyways. But there's a lot of carrier oils out there, and some of them can be better tuned to exactly what your needs are. So those are the names of the carrier oils. Long answer to get to your question. Just tuning in, but thank you for mentioning that essential oils can and will interact with medications. Yes, they absolutely can. You know, just because essential oils are natural doesn't mean you can use them however you want. Water is natural, water is good for us, but you know, you can drown in it. It can't be used however you wish. You can overdrink. You have to be smart about anything that you are using. Here's another question. When you make a blend, how do you know how long it will keep and how often to use it? That is a wonderful question. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a sip of tea because I've been blabbing for 48 minutes and 3 seconds. And my mouth is drying out. Okay. Love this question. Love all your questions. You guys are awesome. I just love this. It's so much fun. So when you make a blend, how do you know how long it will keep and how often to use it? Generally, your carrier is going to go bad before your essential oils are. Generally speaking, your carriers, unless you're using jojoba, are going to go bad in about a year. 6 months to a year, depending on the carrier. Whereas essential oils will last a minimum of 1 year, generally 2, if not longer, depending on the essential oil and depending if you are refrigerating them. And I suppose you can also refrigerate your carrier oils. Some of them actually turn pretty hard, especially jojoba oil, and then when you go to use it, you can't quite get it thawed in time. So you want to look at what the essential oils are that you are using, what their shelf life is, and I'll help you with that in a minute, as well as the carrier oils and what their shelf life is. So here, let's go over to the website again, where all of your questions pretty much are going to be answered. And let's type in shelf life. And we will grab the post that is all about shelf life. And again, this is another huge post that should have been an ebook or something else. It's gigantor, so keep scrolling. So we talk about what makes essential oils go bad: oxygen, heat, and light. Essential oils to avoid if oxidized, because they will cause some skin irritation. So you want to use those up. Otherwise, if they've oxidized, throw them in your laundry, put them on your dryer balls. No, adding essential oils to your wool dryer balls will not cause a fire hazard. And here's a beautiful image for you there. So here, this is all about shelf life. And then now we finally have a whole list of essential oils and the estimated shelf life. Now, you can extend the shelf life by refrigerating your essential oils. So I personally do refrigerate almost all of my essential oils. The essential oils that I don't refrigerate are the ones I'm using all the time, like lemon or tea tree, like for cleaning, and I know I'm going to use them up within a year or two anyways, right? And other essential oils that may be super thick and hard to get out of the bottle anyways, and when we refrigerate them, forget about it. So things like myrrh and frankincense, and vetiver, sometimes sandalwood, can be really thick because some of those that I just mentioned are resinous. They come from a resin, and so they're super thick. And so when you refrigerate them, it's nearly impossible to get them out of the bottle. So those I will leave out. And something like myrrh, I mean, that's going to last several years anyways. And this is why I encourage everyone to not buy huge bottles, to buy the smaller bottles, just to make sure that you're going to use them up before they go bad, unless it's something that you use a lot of, such as maybe lemon in your cleaning, or tea tree essential oil in your cleaning. And I buy those by like the 2 or 4 ounce bottles. Like, I buy those in huge quantities because I'm using them all the time. And they definitely will not go bad before I use them all. So we have estimated shelf life for some of the most popular essential oils. And as you can see, the shelf life varies. 3 years. We have 6 years for cedarwood. We have 3 years for elemi and fennel, 2 years for frankincense. We have 6 years for ginger, 1 year for lemon, 1 year for orange, 10 plus years for patchouli. So here's a great link for you guys to check out. It's using eossafely.com/shelf life, or just go ahead and do a search right on the website here. It's also found in the A to Z topics. Just click there. You don't have to click on these other 3 links. Just click right on A to Z topics, and you'll have an A to Z list. I might as well click on it and show you. And then you can Control F on the page, type in shelf. It'll bring it right down to it, or just scroll down to S, and you will find shelf life of essential oils right here, along with a ton of other keywords of topics that we have information for right on our website. So great question. Oh, and I didn't click off the question. I'm sorry, you guys probably couldn't read the text very easily. I've been trying to remember to click that off. That is a new feature I'm so excited about. Okay, so here's the last question that I can see on my list here. It's possible on Facebook there's a few more, and I will check in a moment. Can you explain a bit more by what you mean by something is a 2% dilution? Sorry, a newbie. Don't be sorry at all. That is exactly why I am here, and I will absolutely be happy to explain about dilutions. So let's go right over to the website again over here. And since we're on this page, I'm just going to scroll down to D and find our diluting page. And the short link is using eossafely.com/dilute. And this is a massive, massive page. So this was back when I was writing posts, and I had no idea that things like courses or ebooks were something that I could ever do. So this is a massive, massive post. So we have lots of information on diluting. Let me just highlight some of this. Why do I want to dilute? This tells you why you want to dilute. How much do you dilute? General guidelines for diluting by age group, which is extremely general. Basically, you want to dilute by situation, but that is just some general information for diluting by age. And then we have the dilution charts, and this is what I wanted to get to here. So I have several different charts to come at this several different ways. So if you know you want a 2% dilution, you need 2 drops of essential oil in a carrier. So the rule of thumb is a 1% dilution is 1 drop of essential oil in 1 teaspoon of carrier. And that gives you a 1% dilution. So to get to 2% is you want 2 drops of essential oil in the 1 teaspoon of carrier. And a teaspoon is the same as a 5 ml, and it's also the same as 1/6 of an ounce. So 2 drops of essential oil in a teaspoon will give you that 2%. So sometimes I'll get questions, how do you do a 0.5% dilution? You can do that by adding 1 drop of essential oil in 2 teaspoons of carrier. And here's another chart. This is if you want to dilute to 0.25%. So this might be for a little baby. I shouldn't say little baby because we generally don't recommend applying under age 6 or under age 2, but sometimes you need to. But this is how many drops. So we have these big essential oil drops with a number of essential oil drops per size of carrier. Let's go down to something more simple like a 1% dilution here. So you are going to need 6 drops per ounce to make a 1% dilution. So if you have a 1/2 ounce, you only need 3 drops. If you have 2 ounces of carrier, you have 12 drops, and so on. And those essential oil numbers will be doubled if you want to make a 2% dilution. So you still have the 1 ounce of carrier, but you are going to double that for 12 drops for your 2% dilution. So I have a few charts like this. I also have, here's one if you have a 5 ml roller bottle and you want a 1% dilution, you want 1 drop of essential oil. Because again, that 5 ml is 1 teaspoon, and we just learned above that 1 drop of essential oil in 1 teaspoon of carrier is going to give you the 1% dilution. So this is just another way to look at it here. And then we have a 10 ml roller bottle and the number of drops required for the dilution required. And then I even have one in a 20 ml, which is 4 teaspoons. And then we have our master chart here, which I'm looking into actually getting these in a magnet form. So this would be great to throw in your refrigerator, maybe on your essential oil refrigerator, on your computer if you have one of those with the metal boxes, whatever. You can have this handy so that you can calculate the number of drops needed right here for the dilution desired. So all of these white drops are for 1%. 2% is next, and then 3, and then 5%. That is the number of drops needed for this size of carrier. So we have a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 3 and 4 teaspoons, 5 teaspoons, and then 6 teaspoons, which is 1 ounce. So naturally, if you have 2 ounce, you're going to double this 30, and you're going to have 60 drops of essential oil in your 2 ounce for your 5% dilution. So that's how you figure that chart out. And then here's another view. We have a 5 ml, which I mentioned is a teaspoon or 1/6 of an ounce, and that is equivalent to 100 drops. So just another chart to get you to help you figure out exactly the number of drops needed for any situation. And then finally, like I said, this is extremely long post. We have some essential oils which do require extra dilution. So if you have pain and you need a 5% dilution, but you want to use something like birch, which only has a 2.5% topical max, you are not going to be able to use birch on its own to get to that 5% dilution for your muscle blend. You are going to have to add other essential oils to bump up to the 5%. And this is another thing we went over in the blending class. How to work with adding essential oils that have such a low topical max when you need a dilution that is much higher. So that can be tricky, but it also can be done. We have done it. So there's just a bunch of information for you there as well. And these are just images that you can save or pin. So you can find that on using eossafely.com/dilute for all of that. And I do have that diluting information in my print book as well. We sold out so fast, so I'm back to doing pre-orders for the print book. The ebook is available to download now, though, and you can find these on eopbook.com. But I do have the diluting charts right in here, and they are in full color. So I basically have that information. I have it right in here in the book along with some of the color charts. So it's super handy when looking at the essential oil profiles in here. Because you'll see there'll be a max topical dilution for some essential oils. I know it's really bright. You guys can't see everything. And then you'll want to know how to dilute it. So that will actually give you the information all in one spot. Okay, so there's been quite a few comments since I started answering that question. Thank you so much for the great information. You are very welcome. I absolutely love this. I really missed coming live on a regular basis, and I'm so happy to be back in it. So happy. Great idea. Thank you very much. Morning sickness. What essential oils can be used? When can you start using them? And what dilution ratio? Great question. So you have several different questions going on here. First of all, morning sickness is not necessarily something that essential oils would be the first go-to for, but we do have information on our website. So let me go ahead and bring you over here to morning sickness. Okay, I can't type. I can type, but not when people are watching me. Stop watching me! So that's using eossafely.com/morning sickness. So we have a bunch of information here on this link. Here we go. So this is for the first trimester and beyond. So I am not actually recommending essential oils during the first trimester. And this is something aromatherapists will tell you, that we don't like recommending essential oils during the first trimester because there's not a lot of research been done with using essential oils in those first 12 weeks. It's just not ethical. So the things that we know about pregnancy in general have been more about accidental use. It's not, we don't want to line up a whole bunch of pregnant women and test a bunch of things on them. But in general, even your doctor will tell you, your midwife, you want to be careful to avoid certain things during the first 12 weeks, just in case, that baby is little, it's just starting to be formed, and there could be things that it's more sensitive to than you are that could not be good and impact its health and growth. So generally speaking, no, we don't recommend essential oils in the first trimester. Some of the things that you can do is candied ginger, which honestly, or dehydrated ginger is going to be great for all stages. This would be my number one recommendation. Actually, magnesium oil or magnesium powder, this natural calm here that I linked to right here, is probably my number one in general for morning sickness. Candied ginger is absolutely excellent as well. And this, again, it doesn't matter which trimester you are in. Even above using essential oils, these would be my recommendations. Keep hydrated. Don't let yourself skip a meal. If you are having low blood sugar, that can make you feel sick anyways, and that is not a good combination. So you can make an herbal infusion, a tea with dehydrated ginger. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast about making elderberry syrup and how I like using ginger. I get the fresh ginger, but then I freeze it. So I pull it out and I use my micrograter and I'll grate it into tea if I'm feeling like I'm starting to get sick. It's also great for motion sickness, morning sickness. There's candied ginger. There's even mints. And make sure magnesium intake is at a healthy level. If you follow Mommy Potamus at all, I know she kind of merged with Katie, Wellness Mama, but she has magnificent information on magnesium and its relation to morning sickness and pregnancy health. So most of us are actually deficient in magnesium on some level, but when you are pregnant, this is even more important time to make sure you have enough magnesium. The kind that I personally prefer and the kind my son used when he was going through leg cramp issues is the Natural Calm by Natural Vitality. So my link for that is using eossafely.com/calmmag, CALMMAG, and that brings you directly to the one that I use. It's over on Amazon. There's a couple of different varieties. There's a magnesium and calcium combination. There's a kid's version, but my son, he's 10 now, but since he was little, he used the regular kind. And you want to start low. You want to start with just, a half teaspoon or a teaspoon or whatever they recommend at first, because if you have too much and your body's not acclimated, you can have diarrhea. It's not going to hurt you per se, but it's not like a very desired side effect, is it? So here are some other things that you can do as well, especially once you're in that second trimester and beyond. You can begin to use a few essential oils. Now you can inhale these essential oils. Ginger, spearmint, orange, and lemon are great choices for that. I really suggest herbal teas though. I mean, that is something you can consume and that's not going to be harmful in any way, shape, or form, and is probably going to be more therapeutic and more helpful to you anyways. But you can try a personal inhaler with those essential oils. You just want to make sure that the essential oils you are choosing to use are safe for pregnancy. So we have your one question. Sorry, I left your question up, but I don't know if you can read all this. We have your one question, what essential oils can be used? I've given you a few tips, but we also have the other fact that there are some essential oils not safe for pregnancy at all. You did also ask about dilution, and these are going to be essential oils that you want to inhale, not something you want to apply topically for motion sickness. My rule of thumb for using essential oils topically, if it's not a skin issue or like a muscular pain type of issue, if it's more of an emotional or limbic issue, like a mood thing, you want to inhale that. So apply them topically if there's something you can see on your skin, like a rash or chicken pox, or if it's something just under the skin, like a muscular ache, pain, nerve, that kind of thing, then you can apply it topically. Some digestive issues as well. But otherwise, you want to go with inhalation. It's going to be much more effective, super, super effective. So let's go ahead. There should be a link for pregnancy right in this post. Yes, here it is. I'm just going to briefly go over for you some of the essential oils. Actually, that brings us to here. I apologize, by the way, my website is not 100% to where I want it to be. So we have some of these old posts in here. The formatting is not as to my liking as I would like. We have my old logo and everything in here, and it's just a work in progress, but at least you have the information. So some of these posts are going to be a little bit more polished than others, but you still have the information here, which is good no matter what way it looks, right? So we have some essential oils here that are going to need to be avoided during pregnancy and breastfeeding. So these are ones you definitely don't want to use for morning sickness or anything else. And a lot of them have herbal sounding names, so you want to be very careful. The safety for essential oils and herbs are simply not the same. So be very careful about that. I have the list of essential oils, the Latin name just specifically so that you can, I don't know why that linked to a wiki. Specifically so that you know exactly the kind, because it can be confusing. There's several different lavenders and tea trees and other things to make sure that we are speaking about the exact same thing. Check out the Latin names. And then I have the why. I have the reason. And I have these defined right up here too. So phytotoxic is toxic to the growing baby. Nephrotoxic is toxic to the kidneys, etc. So there's a list here, some of the more common ones that you might be familiar with, carrot seed, cassia, cinnamon bark, and that might be surprising to some of you. This is one that's very commonly used in anti-germ blends like Thieves and On Guard. You want to be very careful with that if you are pregnant. Most of them have cinnamon bark and not leaf, and that is something that can be a concern. Not to scare everybody, mostly the concern is going to be if you consume the essential oil, but inhalation is also very powerful. So if you've started diffusing some of those blends and you're pregnant, don't freak out, just stop diffusing it for now. Your body is a very powerful thing, and inhalation is pretty subtle and pretty ambient, and you probably haven't done anything to harm your baby or yourself. So, but just stop doing it. Once you know better, then you can do better. Just shake off the guilt and the worries. And if you're diffusing around your kids and all that, just start over and just start doing safe things now that you know. So cinnamon bark is one. Fennel is another one. What are some other ones that you might be familiar with? whole leaf, Spanish lavender, and this is why it's so important to check out those botanical names. There's so many companies out there that will say cinnamon or lavender without even defining cinnamon bark or Spanish lavender. So see if you can see if not on the bottle. Unfortunately, most of them haven't figured out how to put all that information on the bottle like I have created labels for. But check out those botanical names, go to the website. You know, you have to do your due diligence. You can find this stuff at Walmart. You can find these essential oils at Best Buy. And there's no safety guides that comes with them, unfortunately. So you have to do your due diligence to see exactly what you are getting yourself into. So again, Spanish lavender is one you want to avoid if pregnant. We also have myrrh, oregano, some sages, Western red cedar, which is abortive, thuja. So that is something that you will find. I don't know why it's become somewhat popular over the last couple of years. It's not cool. It's neurotoxic, and that goes for everybody. We have wintergreen as well, and some of these other ones are really not very common. So those are the ones that you do want to avoid if pregnant. And then here's a list of essential oils that are fine. But you just need to take a look at these topical max dilutions if you use them topically. We went over lemongrass earlier at 0.7%. So there's a ton of information over here. And then there's a bunch of essential oils that are totally fine too. So check out that post. It's using eossafely.com/pregnancy. And that is breastfeeding and pregnancy information, and you can find all of that information right over there. Okay. So let's see. What basic oils are safe to diffuse around babies? So this is a similar question what I had much earlier. I've been on over an hour, so you probably completely missed that one. So here's the thing. Generally speaking, I don't recommend diffusing around children under 6 months. And I always recommend that you diffuse with intent. So if your intent is to help calm your baby, then that's a reason. If your intent is to help kill germs in the air, well, then that's a reason too. But you just have to use the essential oils that are safe for children. So I'm going to just go over really quick because there's some of you on here who have already seen this. But I'm going to go ahead and click on... Actually, you weren't seeing it. Let me go ahead and show you my screen. Hang on. Let me click that off so you can read. So there is a gigantor post over here all about children. So if you go to our website, you can just type children in when you click the magnifying glass, or you can type using eossafely.com/children. And this gives you an entire pages and pages of information, but it gives you specific information about ages 2. So read all this. I really encourage you to read all of this. There is a list of essential oils that are safe to diffuse. Then there's going to be a list of essential oils that are ones that you want to avoid and the reasons why. So go ahead and check all of that out. It's right over there for you. Great question. Thank you. So helpful. This is also helpful. When you make a blend, how do you know how many times to use it during the day? That is a great question. It really depends on the situation. So we go over this in our basics class, which enrollment is open currently now at ueosbasics.com, and class begins January 6th. If you can't attend January 6th, it's all online. You have lifetime access, and you can absolutely jump in the summer or wherever that you want to. But we go through all of this information in over there, and it really depends on what your situation is. So if you have something specific that you have in mind as far as a blend, then I can help you with that. But otherwise, I will just give you the best answer, which is always correct, and that is as needed. That is going to be as needed. So if you are talking about inhalation and you have some congestion, it really depends on how badly congested you are. You might do a steam inhalation in the morning and be fine the rest of the day. You might use a personal inhaler and you might need to use it once in the morning and that's it. You may need to use it once in the morning and once in the evening. If you have a heavy congestion, you may need to use it every 2 hours. So it really depends on what the situation is and also on the person, because it depends on the intensity. If you are talking about like a bruise, if you apply the blend as soon as possible, like whenever anybody in our house gets a bruise, we're like running for the helichrysum, right? Okay, so if you can apply it as quickly as possible, like within the first couple of minutes, it may never actually bruise. You may actually prevent it from bumping up and bruising at all. If it's an old bruise, it might take longer. So it really depends on what the situation is, the frequency of application, or the frequency of inhalation. But it's always going to be as needed. So it might be once a day, once a week, 5 times a day. It's really going to depend. So if you have a specific question behind that, then I can better help narrow that down. You are very, very welcome. So I've come to the end of the questions that are appearing on my eCam screen, but I'm not sure that there may be other questions over on Facebook that I'm not seeing. So I'm just going to go ahead and bump over there and see. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything that I missed, but I actually can see your names over here, so that is really cool. So thank you for your questions, Ashley and Kristen. Hey, Cindy and Audra and Amy and Tanya and Carolyn and Samantha and Nancy. You guys have had some wonderful questions, and Martha and Teresa and Amy and Roxanne and Lisa and Melanie and Dahlia and Laura and Alyssa and Austin Marie and Tasia and Tammy. Oh my gosh, there's been so many of you guys on here. So do you have any more questions for me? Because, you know, I can do this all day long. As long as I can still talk, I can answer your questions. As you see my beautiful cup, isn't it lovely? I love it. Okay, so any more essential oil questions that I can answer for you guys? So if you have not learned anything, hopefully you've at least learned that we have a website with a lot of information on it. And all you have to do is do a search. You can absolutely search right here in our Facebook group as well. Facebook is not quite as user-friendly to such huge groups as ours as it could be, but our website is way more direct. So as you are posting your questions within our group, and Roxanne is doing wonderfully at answering all of those questions for you guys on a daily basis, you can always jump on in over to our website and you can find all of our information over there too. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pop on over there again to show you guys, because I see there's a bunch of you that just joined right now. And this is our website. I know a lot of you don't know this, but we do have a website. So you can find a ton of information. We have A to Z topics, a huge page with all of our keywords. We have recipes. I get asked about brands a lot. We have blend safety information. We have a lot of stuff over here for you guys. And right on our homepage, I try to keep our more popular post right here. We just posted the safety of lemongrass essential oil today, and you can see all of our previous posts, and these are our free essential oil classes. Let me go ahead and actually go there. So if you go to freeeoclass.com, that is us. And I'm going to show you some of the things that you can learn right over here for free, all of the information that you could need to know about the essential oils that we are going through on a weekly basis. So every Monday, I'm posting the therapeutic properties of the essential oil of the week. Every Wednesday, you will find the benefits. Every Friday is the safety. And then Saturday is one master post that combines these 3 posts, but it also gives you a little bit more information like the botanical names and the shelf life and all of that stuff. So that is the one master post that has all of that information. I also send out a weekly email. So if you are not yet subscribed to our list, click right up here at subscribe, and I will send you our weekly educational email that highlights not just our free essential oil classes, but all the educational posts that we have shared on our Facebook page. You are in our Facebook group right now. We also have a public Facebook page by the same name too. And that is where you can share all of the posts. So in the group, we often get asked, how can I share this post? It says such great information. Well, chances are if you go over to our public page, you will find that I just posted it over there as well. And that is where you can share with your friends. Because in this group, it's a closed group. And so you can't share anything outside of it where others are going to see it unless they're in the group too, which makes it a safe place for you if you have questions about pregnancy or something that maybe your family doesn't know you're pregnant yet and you're the only one of your family in the group. You can post those questions and not have to worry about them seeing them because it is a closed group. We also have all of our videos. So I will do a video of our essential oil of the week, and I'll put that on YouTube every single week, so you can find all of those over there on YouTube as well. And then here is a list of all the upcoming classes. So you will see we're almost to the end of Lemongrass, and next week we will be talking about Lyme. Here's another place that you can subscribe to our classes. And then here's where I have what's up next. And I'm a little behind on that because that does not auto list for me. So you can find all of the rest of the classes that we will have, and then we will have gone through all 60 essential oils, the most popular essential oils. If you've missed any classes, you can click right here and you will see they're alphabetically backwards here, and we'll go all the way down to the beginning. You can find the older entries as well, and these will be all about the essential oils right here, so if you've missed anything. And here's some of the pages. I did click through in the anti-inflammatory post for answering one of your questions probably about 45 minutes ago. Here are some of our old classes here. So the graphics aren't really up to par anymore and stuff, but you know, the information's still good and they're still over there meantime before I go over all of them. So I've been so busy creating new stuff for you guys, I haven't gone over all of our old stuff and made it look a little bit prettier, but that's okay. So let me see the comments. That was amazing. Thank you. You are so welcome. I cannot see your name on here. Someone saying hi. Love your website, always my go-to. Let me pop on Facebook because I prefer seeing who I'm talking to here. So Kristen, this was amazing. Thank you. You are welcome. Hey, Nashay. You were saying hi. Amy, love your website, always my go-to. Thank you so much, Amy. Woot woot, love your blouse. Thank you so much. Do you like my necklace? This is a beautiful diffuser pendant from the Oily Amulet. And it's hard to see the, oh, I almost got it. Hard to see the pattern on here because I have my, there you go. I don't have my huge light on, I just have my little light on. So for those of you who don't know, I like to use diffuser pendants. Now, I don't honestly always put essential oils in them because they're so beautiful anyways, and I'm sorry you can't see exactly how beautiful this is. I love using black once in a while, especially in the winter months. But you can use essential oils directly on here. There's a felt pad inside, which honestly I don't know if I even have. I do. So the felt pad inside, you can add a drop of essential oil to. You can add a focus blend, an anti-germ blend, a calming blend, whatever that you need to inhale instead of running your diffuser. You can pop the essential oil right in here. So I have probably just about all of the Oily Amulets, at least exclusive collections. I have so many of her necklaces. So absolutely check them out if that is something that you are interested in. If you have some Christmas cash that you know what you want. Let's see, I can't talk and type at the same time. So the oilyamulet.com for all of your diffuser jewelry needs. Linda, confused about using different concentrations in a blend. Well, I would be happy to help you, but I'm not quite sure I know exactly how to answer your question. Could you please give me a little bit more specific detail about what your question is? Because I would love to help you. That is my thing that I love to do the most, is help bring people from confused to confident. And that is what my basics course does. I'm going to do this right here. ubosbasics.com. I have, I think, about 1,000 people that have enrolled in this course over the last 2 years, and there's been so many happy campers. Let me tell you, you can learn so much in that course. So go ahead and check it out and see if that is something I only offer it like twice a year. So if this is good timing for you, we start classes January 6th. And I would be happy to teach you all about essential oils. So Linda, if you are still on, if you would elaborate on your question, I would love to help you figure out different concentrations in a blend. Deshay says, Basics course is amazing. Thank you so much. It was my baby. It took me so much work. And now after the blending course, I'm like, phew, that was nothing. We're talking 4 weeks versus 14 weeks. Let me tell you, there's a huge difference. A huge, huge difference. So, Linda, as I wait for your question, if there's anybody else on here that has any more questions about essential oils, I know we're getting past 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've been on for an hour and a half almost, and I just absolutely love answering your questions. So if you have any more questions about essential oils or hydrosols or carriers and how to use them, I'd be happy to answer your questions. Okay, here's a new question. What are some phrases that you use to gently suggest that someone try an essential oil before medication? This is so hard, Megan. I am so sorry. It's so hard when you're dealing with people that use essential oils unsafely and you're trying to very tactfully tell them that they're going to kill themselves if they don't listen to you. It's so hard. I don't know. I mean, do you guys have good suggestions too? I'd be happy to hear your comments. Something like, did you check to see if that interacts with medication? Or, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard, guys. I mean, I actually don't deal with a lot of people in real life, believe it or not. It's mostly online and answering questions in this group of people that are wanting to use essential oils in potentially an unsafe way. And me, I simply point them to the information. I will link them. I will show them. I will say here. And, you know, you can only do what you can do. You can send them a link and say, here, have you checked this out? You know, I just want to make sure that, you know, you don't have any interactions. But there are people that are just going to be like, well, this is therapeutic grade. Like, it can't possibly hurt me. I've actually had somebody say, because peppermint has menthol in it that can cause breathing issues with some children. And so I had this person tell me that they told this person, that this company rep, that, well, I can't use that because my child's under age 6 and that can cause respiratory issues. And I guess there was a conversation like, well, what could cause it? And the person who was in our group was saying, well, it's the menthol. So the company rep was like, well, ours doesn't have menthol in it. Because she's thinking, well, ours is safe for children, it doesn't matter what, so I guess it can't have any of that old menthol in it. Well, if it doesn't have menthol and it's peppermint, then it's not peppermint. Peppermint has menthol in it. Like, right? It's like buying fat-free half and half. What? It's half and half. It's supposed to have fat in it. Either that, it's not real half and half. So, I'm sorry. I wish I had some magic answers for you as far as how to gently suggest that anybody pay attention to safety, but I can just give you my sympathy, my empathy, because it can be very frustrating. Very frustrating. I actually had a comment from one of the essential oil blending formulators who just graduated the blending course, and she was like, you know, this was absolutely amazing, but now I'm looking at all of this information everywhere, and it's kind of frustrating to me now because it's so unsafe. Like, all I can see is all the unsafe information. Because she now knows how to use them safely. She can make her own blends, she can formulate stuff. I mean, she went through the whole 9 yards, the whole 14 weeks. So she's like, wow, this isn't safe, and that's not safe, and that's not safe, and that's not safe. But at least now she knows how she can tweak it to make it safe. So that is helpful. Okay, great question. At what age is RC blend from Young Living safe? I am going to point you directly to our page where you can find that information. So let me turn my screen around for you. There we go. So here we go. If you go to our website and you click A to Z Topics Blends Safety, or actually you can type in eoblendsafety.com, that will bring you directly to our massive page. And as massive as this is, there's still quite a few more essential oils that could be added to this massive, massive, massive list. And this brings you to a list of all of the essential oils that we have here. It's by brand alphabetically, and then it's by the blend within the brand. So you said Young Living. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control F or Command F, and I'm going to type in RC. And that should bring me directly down. Why is it not bringing me directly down? Okay, let me type in Young Living. That will bring me directly down to Young Living. I know I have RC listed here, so I don't know why that search functionality did not work. And we have all, I shouldn't say we don't have all of the blends from these companies, but we do have a lot of them, and we do have the more popular ones. So this is great. I'm glad you asked me this question, because this is something I actually want to come live and do sometimes, is let's check out the safety of some essential oils. And even talk brands and everything. So let me see. So, wow, that went way over there. That's strange. I wonder why that did that. Okay, so we have a lot of the kids ones. We have Peace and Calming, Peaceful Child, Raven, Purification. Oh, here we go. RC. Okay, that's why, because it's typed in here as R.C. So here we go. This is a massive post. So please, if you're going to use this page, do the Command F or Control F to search, because otherwise you are going to be scrolling forever, which is fine. You might actually learn something. Now, let me real quickly, since that question has been up a minute, let me really quickly just take that question off, just so that you guys can see what I'm seeing without it being in the way. Okay, we got it. So here's the list of the ingredients in RC, unless something's changed. Sometimes they've done updates. We have eucalyptus, myrtle, pine, marjoram, eucalyptus, lavender, cypress, spruce, and peppermint. So they have several varieties of eucalyptus in here. And what I've done is broken these down. And actually, I didn't do this all myself. I have had some of my admins as well help me with this information, cutting and pasting from other areas in this page. And but anyway, so we have Eucalyptus globulus. All species do not use on children under 10 due to 1,8-cineol content. 1,8-cineol has been known to cause breathing issues in young children. We have myrtle. This specific species that they are saying that they're using as their myrtle is potentially carcinogenic based on the estragol and methyleugenol content. This is why it's super important to always check the botanical names of the essential oils that you are using, because sometimes there are different kinds and some of them are safer than others. We have pine with no safety issues, marjoram with no safety issues. We have a couple of other species of eucalyptus. The Citriodora is fine. I believe that's a lemon eucalyptus anyways, and the lemon eucalyptus is totally fine with no breathing risks to children, but the radiata is. We have lavender, which the Lavandula angustifolia, it's either Bulgarian or French, and that's fine. It has no safety issues. Same with cypress and spruce. And then we have peppermint, which is an issue for children under age 6. So, your question about this blend, I would not use this blend under age 10. I would wait until at least age 10 before exposing children to that blend. So I hope that answered your question. So let me go back to Facebook because I like seeing your names and faces on here. So Callie Joe, I hope that answered your question for you, and you can go ahead and reference that page anytime that you are looking for a blend. We do have most of the popular ones from most of the popular companies on there, and that could always be a work in progress. And I would love to actually complete that page someday, but there's always going to be companies popping up anyways with their blends. It's going to be really difficult to keep tabs on that, and especially having it all in one page. So maybe at some point we'll have a membership site with a database area, and that would be something that would be better for something like that, to be able to access all that information. My lips are getting dry. Tanya, let me see. When I click on the links on your Facebook post to the free EO classes, I don't see a lot of information posted. I'm on a cell phone. I am not sure which ones you mean. Now, if you mean the ones I post every day, like the therapeutic properties and the benefits and the safety, I do limit that information. So let me go ahead and show you my screen, and I'm going to see if this is what you are talking about. So let's go to freeeoclass.com, and you let me know if this is what you mean. And hopefully you're still on here, because I don't think I took too long to answer your question as I was trying to find the AC. Yes, the ones you post every day. Okay, perfect. So let's go over there, and I will just explain exactly what you are seeing. So for this week, it was lemongrass. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Monday. So we have the therapeutic properties of lemongrass essential oil. And I'm glad you brought this up, because I was wondering, and I'll ask the question after. So here are the therapeutic properties of lemongrass essential oil. So this is what it's all about right here. It is the therapeutic properties, nothing more, nothing less. You do have the definitions. If you are not sure what all of these mean, which most of us aren't going to necessarily know what a carminative is, or an analgesic, or an anti-inflammatory, we probably know that one, but there's some here that sometimes you're like, what is that? And there's a couple I always have to double check as well. So we do have definitions found here. So this benefits somebody simply wanting to know what the therapeutic properties of lemongrass essential oil are. This is great for a Google search. It'll come right up and it will list these essential oils. Now on Wednesday, I posted the benefits of lemongrass essential oil. So that is what you have here. You have simply the benefits. So we have broken down by body system as well as home. We have the different things that lemongrass essential oil can benefit. And then we have here these beautiful graphics that Deshay made for me that I absolutely, absolutely love to share. And this highlights one of the best ways that you can use lemongrass, or one of the things that lemongrass is great for. But again, it's great for all of these issues. So this is just going to be on the benefits, just like the title says. And then today, every Friday, I post the safety of lemongrass essential oil. And that is all you're going to get, the safety of lemongrass essential oil. And then every Saturday, sometimes Sunday, but generally Saturday, I will post the all about page. So this is something that you may want to look for. If you are not yet subscribed to the newsletter, you can click right up here where it says subscribe, and you can get right to that educational newsletter right on that list. Let me go ahead and show you what last week's was, because lemongrass will be published tomorrow. This is all about lemon essential oil. So this is probably the post that you are going to get a little bit more out of if you want the whole picture of lemon essential oil. So you will find the basic information, and this is not listed on any of the other posts. So you have the botanical names. Sometimes there's more than one. There isn't for lemon. This can be cold pressed or steam distilled. It gives you what it's steam distilled from. So in the case of lemon, the fruit peel of the plant, and it gives you the shelf life. Then we have the information from previous weeks. We have the therapeutic properties, the benefits, and the safety all in one spot. And then once I've recorded our YouTube video, you will have it inserted here as well. Now, lemon, on week lemon, I actually recorded it in a little bit smaller format or ratio size, and I didn't realize it was going to cut off my picture. So when I go ahead and do that again this weekend for lemongrass, I will have that fixed. So this is the 1 week where things got a little chopped off. But again, that's fine. So you can just click right through here. You can watch the video version of the page, which is basically me scrolling down the page telling you this is what it is. And that is mostly for my YouTube peeps that aren't necessarily in this group, or maybe follow my website as much, but this is something that my YouTube subscribers can just quickly get a recap, and if they want more detailed information, then they can find the post over here on the website. And then, of course, I let you know that all this information comes from Essential Oil Profiles. We have the book, the ebook, and the app found at eopbook.com, and then some images you can pin or share on Facebook or Instagram or whatever that you wish to if you want to share that information. So this might be the page that you might want to hold out for, and that I publish every weekend, generally on Saturday that will be published. So that might be something you might want to check out. But it's a great snippet. You know, you can share it on your wall. Your friends might be interested. You know, it's some people, you know, we're all different. And this is why I do video, why I do text, why I do all of these things, and why I'm going to do a podcast for audio as well. I'm super excited about that. people learn different ways. And so for some people, having a long post to scroll through is going to lose their attention, and they like absorbing small bits of information at a time through the week. I'm really glad you asked about that though, so I hope that answers your question. On the safety you posted on Friday in Lemongrass, can you go over how to read the chart? Yes, I will be happy to go over how I read the chart. Yes, so let me go ahead and do that. Okay. So this is, oops, let me go to Lemongrass. Lemongrass. Actually, I have a lemon on there and that works too, but let's go to Lemongrass. So this, I mentioned earlier in my live that I do want to indicate here this ages 2+ topical thing. So I will be editing this, just so you know. So this is how you decipher this. And for those of you who don't know, this is like a blow up of the labels that you can find on safeeolabels.com. I designed these labels that you can print out and wrap around any essential oil brand bottle that you have, even the little 5 mils. And this helps you to be able to quickly see and judge the safety. Or maybe your husband or your babysitter or somebody else is in your house wanting to use these essential oils, and they can pick up and know right away what this is. So for lemongrass, what I have here is I have inhalation safety and I have the topical safety. And lemongrass is an excellent one to showcase you because you can see here that it's different for inhalation than topical as far as age group. So all ages can inhale, but topically only use on age 2+. So under age 2, do not use topically, but you can inhale. So you can diffuse around your 18-month-old, but I don't advise you use topically until age 2+. It's safe for pregnancy to inhale and use topically. It's safe for breastfeeding to inhale and use topically. It's safe for dogs. If you're diffusing, they can inhale it. If you need to use it topically, it's also okay. Not safe for cats to inhale or use topically. And I have the shelf life here and the topical max. So when you do use this topically, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter if you're pregnant or a dog or anything else, you do want to keep the dilution to below or at 0.7% to prevent adverse reactions. So here's what this looks like. If you are going to use this for pain and you want to use this at a 5% dilution and you are applying this a few times a day because you have pain, listen, you might start seeing redness, irritation, blisters, and the scariest thing is that you might become sensitized to the essential oil. Now, some people become more sensitized more quickly, like maybe after the second, third, first application, and other people might not be sensitized until they've used it a few days, few weeks, few months. So you want to be very careful. And with sensitization, you are sensitized for life. And what this means is it's an immune system response your body has to something being overused on the skin, and it will cause a reaction as a warning for you to not use it anymore. And if you ignore that, then your body will just start reacting in a very negative way. So what this means is if you are applying it topically and you start to get red and you ignore it and you put more on, you might get blisters. If you ignore it, you might have hives, you might sneeze, you might become sensitized to the point where you can not only not use it topically, but even if you inhale it, you might actually start breaking out in hives or sneezes or whatever. So this is a very serious thing. You want to be always careful to follow the topical max dilutions for the essential oils that have them. Especially if you are using on skin that's damaged, the acceleration of the absorption is going to be increased and could cause sensitization a little bit more quickly. So I hope that helped you to decipher what exactly this chart means. And I've had people download these labels and print them out and throw them on index cards or whatever, just so that they have that safety information handy. And of course, that was before my book came out, and that's just a little bit more handy to use. Let me actually show you the lemongrass version of the book here. So this is what the safety looks like. I do have it spelled out a little better. Safe for which ages all, safe for, oh, sorry, that's lemon. Lemongrass. Safe for which ages, inhale all, topical ages 2+ years. So that's obviously I have more room in here. And then safe for pregnancy, yes. Safe for breastfeeding, yes. Safe for dogs, yes. Safe for cats, no. Topical max dilution, never use topically if. So I do have a little bit more room to elaborate. But, you know, I think I did pretty darn good in getting all that information on that tiny little label. Because I really didn't leave anything out. So, that is what answers that. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys are awesome. I love your questions so much. Okay, so I did skip a couple because that was a follow-up. So let me see. Think what you mean. What can you say to someone to recommend that they try essential oils first rather than a medication? Is that what you meant? Now I'm going to have to go back and read that. I am so sorry. I read that wrong. I'm so sorry. Let me go back and what are some phrases that you can use to gently suggest that someone try an essential oil before a medication? Oh, okay. Well, that is totally different. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Deshay, for clearing that up for me. Yes, that is a completely different question, and we'll have a completely different answer. Well, here's the thing. Essential oils are not always going to be the best things before medication. Sometimes you really do need medication. So do you have anything specific? Like, do you have a specific situation or instance in mind where an essential oil would be better for medication in your experience that you would prefer to suggest? I mean, like for me, like with earaches, I always try like garlic mullein oil. That's not an essential oil, but add that to the ear, drops to the ear. I mean, there's things you can do in the beginning stages of not feeling well, like diffusing essential oils, but there can be a point where you have to use medication. I mean, there can be a point where if things aren't improving, then you need medication. So, I mean, for that, I mean, you can simply say like, hey, have you tried this? You know, ginger's really great for morning sickness. Have you tried maybe diffusing a little bit of ginger before taking, you know, whatever medication? Or, you know, more like a, hey, did you know that this essential oil can benefit this? You know, something like that. Thank you for clarifying that, Deshay, because I clearly was not reading that correctly. Okay, let's see what else. So Callie Joe is asking, what breathing issues would it cause if used too young? So it could cause labored breathing, which means they could struggle to breathe, or slowed respiration, which means their breathing can slow down. And this has happened, and unfortunately this has happened to even kids, you know, whose moms are in this group. I had a video a mom shared with me of she had diffused eucalyptus, and I'm talking just a couple of drops. And she diffused it around her, it must have been just a few weeks old baby. And, you know, she didn't realize, and she had just learned this, and she took a small video of her baby struggling to breathe. And it was heartbreaking. You know, when it comes to breathing issues, you have to breathe to live. I mean, it's breathing. It's just not something that personally I am willing to risk. You know, it's not something like, I think this essential oil might be oxidized. If I use this on my skin, I might get a little redness. You know, that's something where the risk is what? You get a little redness and then you know it's oxidized and then you start throwing it in your laundry instead. That's okay. But when we're talking about your child could stop breathing, I mean, that's pretty serious in my opinion. So for me, I suggest using different essential oils. You can use cypress, fir needle, spruce, pines, if you're looking for congestion essential oils, and just not even risk it with the eucalyptus and the peppermint. There's always going to be safe alternatives. We're not saying let your kids suffer with a cold or congestion. We're saying use something else that's at least as effective, sometimes more effective, and without any safety issues. So that's all we're saying. Okay, so Jana, I'm trying to match up the comments on Facebook with your names to the questions over here that I can click to add to broadcast. Oops, I already added that one. I'm not seeing. Okay, hang on. I'm just trying to find. Oh, here we go. I think I'm on My Sweet Husband. Okay, I can't seem to see that on my list to broadcast, so I I apologize. I'm just going to read it directly from Facebook. So Jan is saying, my sweet husband bought me a diffuser and essential oil set brand I've never heard of off Amazon. What is the best way to make sure they are safe and reputable for me and my young kids? You can check out brand safety by going to, let me just go ahead and share my screen with you. So here are some of the things, because I get asked this a lot, like, how do I know if this brand is safe? And so here's a couple of links for you that you can check out. So first of all, I do have this brand's link where I have not updated this in a couple of years. My opinion has not changed on the ones I've listed, and there's way more essential oil brands out there now that I could add to my okay or not okay list, but this can get you started. So there's some that in my opinion are like 4-star brands out of 5. I have not found a 5-star brand yet. And then there's a 3-star, and then we have some brands that I would just never purchase from. And some of those reasons are based on the list of things that I look for. So that link, by the way, was using eossafely.com/brands. And this link is using eossafely.com/how-to-tell. So this is basically what I used to go through like mentally when checking out websites for people. Say, hey, what do you think about this brand? Because there's brands popping up all the time, like literally every month. I mean, there were probably hundreds of new brands in 2018 alone that started up because essential oils are so popular and everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. So anyways, here are the things that I go through when checking out a website. And this is largely based on the information that they provide. And, you know, this is why it's important. So here are some red flags, things that I see that make me go, are they just in it for the money? Are they just in it because it's popular? Or do they actually care about the safety and want their customers to be well educated? So these are some red flags. If they mention topical use without safe dilution guidelines, like, yes, apply it on your, apply it on your skin for colds, or apply it on your skin for bruises, or apply, just use it topically for this, use it topically for that, without specifying what a safe dilution range would be. If they mention internal use without suggesting that you see a trained professional, like, yeah, add it to your tea, add lemon to your water, add, without saying, don't ingest because you want to be careful. If they claim essential oils last forever and do not expire, we know that's not true. If they don't caution you which essential oils are phototoxic or may inhibit blood clotting, or some essential oils which should be not used at all and they have them for sale. If they offer essential oils for sale that are potentially carcinogenic without any warning about using them safely, or FYI, this could be potentially carcinogenic. If they don't mention that essential oils need to be diluted and how and with what. If they encourage using essential oils on pets and children without any safety cautions. If they don't have warnings on essential oils that should not be used if pregnant or breastfeeding. If they don't provide the Latin or botanical name of the essential oil. We discussed earlier in this live that cinnamon bark and cinnamon leaf are different. Cinnamon bark is not safe for pregnancy and breastfeeding, whereas cinnamon leaf is. And if they are just selling cinnamon, you aren't going to know which one that is. If they don't mention the chemotype of the essential oil, if applicable. And this can be applicable for basil. It can mean the difference between something that's potentially carcinogenic and not. There are different chemotypes of rosemary, and, the cineol chemotype is not recommended for under age 10 because of the high 1,8 cineol and the breathing problems, whereas the camphor one doesn't have that safety concern, or the verbenone doesn't have that safety concern. So there are some essential oils which have chemotypes. And if they don't mention what the chemotype is, not all essential oils have chemotypes, but the ones that do, that can be a red flag. If they don't mention the extraction method of the essential oil, that's not cool either. This can mean the difference between an essential oil being phototoxic or not. In the case of lemon, if lemon essential oil is steam distilled, it's not going to be phototoxic. But most lemon essential oil sold on the market is cold pressed. That is very common, and that does have a 2% topical max dilution. So if you are using it at 4% and you go out in the sun, you could have redness or even blistering or severe burns if you aren't using that properly. If they don't mention the plant part used, which sometimes matters, such as with cinnamon bark and cinnamon leaf, as they do have different dilution guidelines and safety. and if they don't mention the country of origin. Now, this can make a difference due to climate and soil conditions. Geranium, for example, can come from more than one country, but it has the same botanical name. The only way to know what you are getting is to have the country indicated. So those are some red flags, and basically the inverse of that is, the green flags are that they are giving this information. They are mentioning topical use guidelines, which are safe. If internal or oral use is mentioned, it is generally not going to be recommended or only recommended with professional guidance. And this is something that people have asked me, oh, my brand says not for internal use, so it's just not safe. No, that's them covering their butt. That's them, they've gotten legal advice. They don't want people using this internally because it can cause harm, not because it's not safe, not because it's not therapeutic or a good quality. Another green flag is if they acknowledge the shelf life of essential oils and they even tell you how long the essential oil is expected to last. If they indicate on the product page when an essential oil is phototoxic or may inhibit blood clotting, or if they do not sell essential oils which shouldn't be used, or if they do sell them, it's with strong warnings. If they warn you to dilute heavily an essential oil which may have carcinogenic potential, if they include safe dilution guidelines, if they indicate on a product page when essential oils should not be used on children or during pregnancy or lactating women. Latin names are clearly indicated, chemotypes are mentioned, extraction method is mentioned, plant part used is indicated, and the country of origin also. Now, not all of that they're going to be able to get on the bottle. A lot of it you can, but at least if it's on their website, you know that they are trying hard. And then I give you some specific information to look for. If they sell something like bergamot, check to see if they're warning you about phototoxicity. Same with lemon. If they sell eucalyptus, are they warning you about not using around under the age of 10 because of breathing issues? So here's a few specific instances and a few specific essential oils that I always check when I am looking up different brands for people. But now, since I've written this post, I just have everybody come to this page and check out this information for themselves. And then you can make the determination yourself whether that is a company that you are going to be willing to invest in. We have so many options. We do. We can be as picky as we want to because there are a lot of companies out there. There's a lot of great companies out there. And there are a lot that really, they just kind of jumped the bandwagon of essential oil popularity. Okay, so I hope that helped answer your question. Michelle, on the safety you posted on Friday on Lemongrass. Okay, I already went over that. Perfect. I just felt like I was missing something, but I'm not. I will definitely subscribe to the newsletter and check back for the Saturday post. You are welcome, Tanya. Callie Joe is tagging your friend Amanda. Thank you so much. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Elise. Thank you so much. Deshay saying, love the labels, so easy to use. Michelle's asking if there are any essential oils safe to use around cats. So that is the question that we are going to look into next. So let's go ahead and dive in on our website and we will learn about safety with cats. So I'm going to go ahead and just type on my magnifying glass and type cat in, and that post should pop up. There's a few different ones. Here we go. Here's the one I'm looking for. Is it safe to use essential oils with cats? The short answer is I don't recommend it, but here is some more information as to why. It was generally recommended that you simply let people know to leave a door open and that if their cat can leave if they feel like it, but unfortunately not all cats have that sensitivity, or that sense I should say, and they just don't always have that instinct to leave when they should. Unfortunately, we've had numerous posts about this issue, and there's been at least a dozen, if not several dozen people in this group who have said that they may or may not be able to prove it, but a week or two after diffusing, their cat had liver failure. And these are young cats, these are old cats. There's been a few who have mentioned that they brought their cat to the vet and it was confirmed liver failure due to the diffusion of essential oils. Now, cats do not have the enzyme necessary to metabolize essential oils. So this is why I do not recommend it. However, there are other things that you can do. You can use hydrosols instead of essential oils, and that is something you can use directly to their skin. You can even add some drops to their water bowl if necessary, if that's what needs to happen. But there are certain essential oils that are really extra not cool to use around your cats. And my stance is, because I want to sleep at night, I do not recommend diffusing essential oils around your cats. Diffuse in a separate room. Make sure they can't get in the room. Use a personal inhaler instead, or diffuser necklace that you can add an essential oil to where it's just on you, instead of diffusing in a room where your cats are. But there are some that are especially not recommended to use, and that would be a lot of the citrus ones. We also have, the rosemary and the eucalyptus and the camphor ones as well. But there's a whole list over here, and this is on usingeossafely.com/safe-cats. So we have a couple of charts, and one of them is the list to especially avoid. And again, that is due to the fact that cats lack the enzyme to metabolize the essential oils. So use caution. Alrighty. So let's go ahead back over here. Thank you. Just wanted to know what everyone was referring to when they give their risk, won't chance it. You are very welcome. You are very welcome, Callie Jo. Okay, so the next question is about Revive brand. So I just went over a couple of pages on the website where you can actually check out that brand. I have a post called usingeossafely.com/how-to-tell that I was going over, and that gives you red flags and green flags. So I don't have off the top of my head, do I recommend Revive brand or not? But you can use those indicators to go ahead and check it out yourself to see what kind of information that they have. I'll look this up to check Revive. Okay, perfect. So I just saw your next comment. Excellent. And Lisa's saying, great information. Thank you so much, Lisa. Faye is asking if I can post a link to the page regarding brands. Oh, that is really cool. So if I don't click it off, but if I click the next question, then it overwrites it, which saves me a click. So that is perfect. Yes, I can give you the link for brands. So that would be usingeossafely.com/brands. So that is that link. And then the how to tell, which is going over if your brand isn't listed, then that is that link right there, how to tell. Okay, so let me see what else we have here. Shelby saying, hi, Leah, your hair looks so good. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Michelle. Oop, I just lost where I was over here. If my teen daughter is diffusing in her room, oh, here it is. Perfect. If my teen daughter is diffusing in her bedroom while doing schoolwork during the day with her door closed, how long can she open her bedroom door and allow the cat back in? That is a great question. I would say if it's a closed room, I would give it probably an hour. Otherwise, if she, if it's the summer, not the winter, if she's cracking her window open, you could probably let the cat in less than 15 minutes and probably even sooner. Good question. Lisa, what a great job on the websites. Oh, thank you. It's still a work in progress. It's always a work in progress. I have some pages that are polished and updated and some pages that I really got to go over. But the information's there, and that's the important thing, right? Thank you so much for educating us. You are welcome. Lisa's tried several brands. There's a lot, and you will find, I don't believe there's any aromatherapist that actually uses just one brand. So you are totally cool with using multiple brands. Research is your best course of action to find what is good and what is not reputable. That is correct. Research is key. What do you think about the brand 21 Drops? I saw it at Costco and I can't find enough info online to tell if it is good or not. I would go ahead and look at that how to tell post that I linked to a couple of comments ago and see what you think about that. I have heard of it. I believe I went over that and I wasn't overly impressed personally. Especially when you're talking about finding brands at Costco or Walmart or any stores. You know, the best essential oils are generally just found online. There are going to be some like one-off mom and pop shops that are going to be great as well. But if there's going to be anything mass produced, it's probably not going to have the best quality or at least have the best safety information to go along with it. And that is just generally speaking. They could be totally fine. You just have to go ahead and check out all of that red flags and the green flags to see if you are comfortable purchasing from them or not. I know it is convenient. And here's the thing with brands that even if they don't pass the test for you, but you might have a bunch, maybe it was gifted or maybe you got it inexpensively, you already have it, you can use it for cleaning. You can use it in your laundry. You can put it on your wool dryer balls. You can add it to your cleaning solutions because, you know, even if it's not safe to apply topically, you can still kill germs with it. You are welcome. Okay, so are there any more questions? I should probably get off at some point because I've been on here for more than 2 hours. More than 2 hours, but this is so much fun. It's so much fun. I hate to get off, so if you guys give me any more excuses, I should probably give my voice a break though here pretty soon. But if you have any more questions about essential oils, how to use them, hydrosols, carriers, anything to do with that, then I'm your go-to right here. So, hey Charlotte, thanks so much for joining. Okay, we have a big one. All right, I've been following you for a few years now. This is from Michelle, and I always learn so much. I feel so blessed that I stumbled upon you and safety when I first decided to take the plunge and try essential oils. As a mama of 6, obviously pregnant and breastfeeding over the years, I've gained so much confidence in using essential oils and treating my children with much success. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle, for typing all that out. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm so happy. You know, when I first started this, I'm like, if I can just reach one person, and help them learn how to use essential oils, I will be so happy. So I am like beyond happy and blessed myself. I mean, this group has 160,000 people in it. So there's a lot of people definitely interested in using essential oils safely. So I love it so much when you take the time to let me know exactly how the information that I've shared has impacted you. So I appreciate that so much. Thank you. What can I diffuse for sleep? I just started to diffuse and I'm using 10 drops of ylang-ylang and 10 drops bergamot. Is this too much? I would say it's too much, and it's also may not be the best essential oils either. So let's go ahead and take a peek at my website and show you my very best suggestions for diffusing for sleep. So I am going to go to my sedative essential oils class, and this is one published nearly 3 years ago. So there's been a lot of feedback on how effective that this is. And this is so old. Oh my gosh. I mean, this was back before Facebook Live when I did a Google class and where I was very new into going live and like reading, like before I went live and did these classes, I like type everything out because I was afraid like I'd forget something. And now I just go live and I'm just like, whatever. I'm just so comfortable now. So anyways, this is a post that I definitely want to redo visually, but the information is solid and I wouldn't change a thing. So we have 2 blends that are absolutely amazing. So we have a blend of cedarwood, sandalwood, vanilla, and vetiver. So these are sedative essential oils. That means these essential oils have sedative therapeutic properties in them that can help you to sleep. And we also have another blend. So that is my Sandman blend. I don't know. I just created names for these, and my Heavy Eyelids blend. We have coriander, tangerine, vanilla, and sandalwood. And you know what? This really surprised me, and it smells a lot like creamsicle. It so surprised me, and oh my gosh, did I tell you when I first made this blend how much I loved it. And this is what I love to use as a linen spray. So diffusing is excellent for inhalation, but it's also pretty subtle. So in order to have a more powerful impact, especially for something like sleep, if you create a linen spray, and I will show you exactly how to do it down here, or add to a personal inhaler, you are going to have a more effective result. Now, a personal inhaler you put right to your nose, and that is going to be more intense than simply diffusing in your room, which again is fine. It's totally fine. So here is my sleep-inducing sedative linen spray. 12 drops of Sandman or Heavy Eyelids blend to a 2-ounce spray bottle. Fill to the neck with a hydrosol, preferably, water or vodka. Shake well before spritzing on bedding. So I generally spritz this directly on my pillow. And then, as you close your eyes and you're breathing in that delicious creamsicle aroma, I mean, it's just so intoxicating and amazing. I absolutely love it. You can also use, in a bath, you can use the sedative blends. I have a lotion recipe here for you as well. So there's a couple of different ways, but I would say a linen spray is going to be the best. And here's a testimonial from Veronica, who made the Sandman and Heavy Eyelids recipes, finally got around to using them over the weekend, put into inhalers, have fought with insomnia for about 2 years, gets aggravated by heavy snoring. I've been getting a full night's sleep since Friday, not even getting woken up by snoring. Success! Woohoo! Thank you again. So it really is very important that you are using the correct essential oils to get the best results for you. And that is what I always like to teach people. Use the best essential oils, and if you use them in the best ways, you are going to have the most effective results. So it doesn't matter how high quality your essential oils are or anything. You have to use the right ones, and you have to use them in the right ways. And then you should be happy with your results. Okay, so I know this has been popping up some of your questions. Let me see if I can find over here. So I can just pop it up. Okay, so Lisa's saying, oils that do not make the grade that I've tried, I use outdoors or in cleaning. That is perfect. That's exactly what I do. I throw them in my laundry, put them on my dryer balls, cleaning sprays, whatever. That's exactly what I do. What is my star sign? I actually have no idea. I've never been curious about that, I guess. You can look it up. My birthday's tax day, April 15th, and then you can let me know. Shelby, you have taught me so much too. I've added quite a few people to this group. Thank you, Shelby. You are such a good friend. Tanya, I've learned a ton tonight. So glad I found you recently. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Charlotte, I have insomnia bad. So here's the thing. There's other things you can do besides essential oils too. And this all boils down to how intense is the situation? Where is it where are you at where you can use essential oils and when you need more help? So, if you have really bad insomnia, you could have cortisol levels that are out of whack. And that is a hormonal thing, and that can be something that herbs can help with. There's cortisol supplements. This could be so much more deep than simply I have trouble sleeping. Sleep routines are good, not being on your phone just before sleep. Okay, I do it all the time. I'm just saying, the blue light from your phone can trigger something in your brain saying it's still sunny out. That's what that blue light does. So if you can dim your screen, if you can have a good nighttime routine. I mean, I know it's just not possible for all of us to do all of the right things for this. It could be that for some people, all you need is a linen spray. It could be that you might need, to take melatonin or something. I don't know. So always make sure that you have your options open. And there's actually some good tips in that sedative blends post as well for sleep too. So just saying, you always want to make sure that you are doing the best for you, and there's going to be different intensities of insomnia and other things. You just have to be careful. Sandalwood in both. Yes. Now you can swap them out. Let me go back to that page. Because there are other options that you can use. But I'm telling you, if you don't have sandalwood yet, you definitely want to get some. I mean, it is so great for so many things. So yes, I do have a little bit of sandalwood in the second one. What you can do is you can bump up one of the other ones if you don't have sandalwood, but it's one of the best sedatives. And then I have it more of a high concentration in the first one. But these are going to be the best choices though. Amyris, cedarwood, sandalwood, and vetiver. And cedarwood and sandalwood tend to be the more common ones that most people do have. Coriander, sweet marjoram are also great, and sweet orange and vanilla can be great additions as well. And there's a few other options too. But these are going to be your absolute best choices to use for that. Sandalwood is excellent for sore throats. I mean, you really need to have sandalwood in your collection. If you don't have it yet, try to get it soon because it's great for so many issues. Okay. Let me see where we are now. I didn't know there was a vanilla essential oil. Yeah, so it's more of an oleoresin, and there's actually different kinds. You can find vanilla essential oil, but it's more commonly sold as an oleoresin. Just like jasmine essential oil is really, a solvent extraction, so it's typically referred to as an absolute and not technically an essential oil, but you can use it in the same way. So, and it's amazing, by the way, and coffee too. Oh, so good, so good. Michelle, I always refer people, mostly MLM users, to you. In our house, you're known as Mom's personally clinically certified aromatherapist. I love that. That is awesome. Yes, I am here. I am your go-to. I am your personal clinically certified aromatherapist. I love that. That is awesome. Yes. Yes, I love that. Yay! That's so exciting. That is amazing. Hey, I'm here. You can ask me questions. I am right here. Yes, you can add to an inhaler. Absolutely. You can add to those sedative essential oils directly to an inhaler just fine. Yes. Kristen, I was looking through your website. I'm a bit confused why some things are listed as an essential oil and a hydrosol, example, peppermint. It was listed as a hydrosol in the tick-off, bug-off recipe, but I thought it was an essential oil unless I'm just not understanding something. Okay, let's go. Let's go right over to our hydrosols page because they are not the same. And this is why I refer to them each separately because they are distinct and different things. So let's go over to our hydrosols page so that I can teach you and everyone else on here who's interested exactly what essential oils are. What hydrosols are. And in fact, when I just got on here on the live within the first couple minutes, I actually had a PM from one of our essential oil expert blending formulators, one of our new graduates, asking if I could do a course on hydrosols. And I mentioned that a few hours ago when I was snowblowing, I was actually thinking about that. Like, yeah, I'm going to do a course on hydrosols. That's going to be so awesome. Because as you can see, this page is huge. I have a ton of information, which is why I have an app version of this page as well, so it's more easily searchable. And I'm thinking, you know what? We got to do it this time. We have to do it this year at some point. I have to do a hydrosols mini course for you guys. So let's talk about, here's all of the questions that can be answered for you. Let me take off that question really quick here. Sorry about that, so you can see a little bit better. Here we go. And one of the first questions that are going to be answered is what hydrosols are. So when plant matter is steam distilled, both essential oils, which are the all oil-soluble constituents, and hydrosols, which are the water-soluble constituents, are produced. Hydrosols contain all of the water-soluble chemical constituents of distilled plant matter. So as they are steam distilled, so say you have lavender flowers, for example, okay? You put them in the still and you are running them through the steam distillation, and there's a bunch of wires and there's things that gather the hydrosols and the essential oil and all the stuff in the stages that it goes through as it steams and then as it cools and condenses and all of that. This is how essential oils are made, and hydrosols are actually a co-distillation. So while the essential oil is steam distilled, you are also getting, or the distillers are getting, the hydrosol at the same time. And there's going to be 10 times or more hydrosol. There could be a gallon of hydrosol for each, teaspoons to maybe, a half a cup or so of essential oil that is created. And it used to be the distillers, and it probably killed them to do so, and they probably saved as much as they could for themselves, but they used to discard it because people didn't understand how valuable that the hydrosols were. And fortunately now we do understand, so it's really, really awesome. But a hydrosol is basically the plant matter's water-soluble constituents, whereas the essential oils are the oil-soluble constituents. And then you have whatever's left behind in the plant matter. So this goes over, see right here, I could have just read this to you, but this is how hydrosols are made. And then the differences between hydrosols and essential oils, and really quickly, hydrosols are safe for everybody, for kids, for pets, and everything, whereas essential oils, due to their concentration and different constituents contained therein, do have a lot more safety concerns. So the hydrosol and essential oil aren't the same. They contain very different components. And clearly when you look at them, they're very different visually. Hydrosols, they look like water. Essential oils do not. And they contain very different safety information, or safety standards. Essential oils can cause sensitization and be phototoxic and not safe to use around pets a lot of time. And they need dilution where hydrosols don't. So there's a ton of information on this page. You can find by going to using eossafely.com/hydrosols, and you can read to your heart's content. When to use hydrosols, there's a bunch of information on when to use them, the shelf life of hydrosols. We have pH ranges of hydrosols. We have ways to use them in the home, ways to use them internally. We have dilution guidelines, therapeutic properties that are in the essential oils, some recipes. I have a ton of recipes so that you guys can use essential oils in recipes. I mean, there's just a lot of information is here. So I do have an ebook on this as well, and a couple of other links to recommendations. And I have a ton of these little images that I made. I'm just scrolling so quickly right now. Of different ways that you can use hydrosols. And yeah, we don't really focus on this a whole lot, do we? There's not a lot of knowledge around hydrosols, and I would love to bring that back a little bit. So this does come up from time to time, which is clearly why I created the post. Let's see how old that post is. Hey, the information is, I don't know, why do I have this little thank you here with a question mark? Yeah, I've got to update this post. When was this posted? I don't even see a date on it right now. Anyways, the information is solid. Wouldn't change a single thing about that. So, eat it out to your heart's content. All about hydrosols. Alright, so where was I? So I hope that answered your question, Kristen, about hydrosols. They are different. So the tick off, bug off recipe does use the essential oils, but using the hydrosols too can give it an extra therapeutic boost. And I love using hydrosols instead of water for a linen spray. So that is what I love to do. Where can I find this page, please? So yes, so using eossafely.com/hydrosols. And of course you can search right on the website anyways for anything. Let's see what we have next. You are exemplifying the word on the walk behind you. Thanks for the inspiration. Thank you so much, Elisa. I appreciate that. You guys are so awesome. Valentina, I want to purchase your Hydrosols app and the Top 60 app. How can I find them in the App Store? So what I do is I kind of cheated a little bit, and I use Evernote, which is a free app. And it has all the functionality in the world that is absolutely amazing. So instead of spending, $10,000+ actually creating an actual app from scratch myself and investing a ton of money into that, I am simply sharing a notebook of mine in Evernote with you. So you are purchasing access to my notebook. So you can find all of those over at ueosresources.com. The Hydrosols app is, I think it's just hydrosolsapp.com, and the Top 60 is eoprofiles.com, but it's all over at my ueos.thinkific.com website, or again, ueosresources.com, all goes to the same place, and that is where you can purchase access. So after you purchase access, you need to email me your Evernote email address, or the email address that you use to, for free, access Evernote. So you can go to evernote.com and sign up. You can download the app, however you want to do it, and then just let me know that you are set up, and then I share my notebook with you, and you have access to my private notes, which aren't so private now that I'm actually giving you guys access to them too. Sandalwood is just a pricey option for single women's budgets. I get it, Lisa. Sandalwood is a pricey option. You know, it's one of those, though, along with helichrysum, that, you know, save up for it because it is so worth it. Sandalwood and helichrysum helichrysum is probably my favorite. I love tea tree, love using lemon, but sandalwood, yes, it's pricey, but if I had the option to buy that or cedarwood, I would definitely go with sandalwood. It's just absolutely amazing. So hopefully you can save up for it, and someday you can get it and use it and go, I know exactly why. I know exactly why now. This is so amazing. Hey, Brandy, thanks so much for joining. Charlotte missed what I said about insomnia. I've said a whole lot about insomnia. I do have a post using eossafely.com/sedative-eos that is all about how to deal with insomnia. Valentina, what recipe, hang on, I want to click on this so you guys can read it as well at the same time. What recipe blend you'd recommend for anxiety? My mother has anxiety and she wanted to ask her doc for some calming pills, but I told her to instead utilize essential oils. Can you suggest a great blend for her to use with an inhaler? Sure. So let's go over to the website and let's click this off so you guys can read it. And let's do a search for anxiety. And there are going to be a few options. So let's go ahead and click on this one, which you can get to. This has information on anxiety, depression, calming, stress. You can get to all of those pretty links here, typing in using eossafely.com/any of those keywords, and a post will pop up. This post will pop up with this information. I'm just trying to see how this is laid out a little bit. So here are a few blends. So we have some of my free classes which address using some of these essential oils for anxiety, such as bergamot, lemon, clove, sandalwood, ylang ylang. There's a few recipes listed here as well, using essential oils from members of this group who have used these and have had great success. There's a list here of calming essential oils, like basil, bergamot, the chamomiles, frankincense, neroli, sweet orange, and ylang ylang. And those can be useful as well. Here's some more listed here. But I'm going to go ahead over to our anti-stress class because that is one that is a little bit better organized. And these are essential oils that can be used for stress, anxiety, depression, tension, irritability. And these are the best essential oil choices here. You can see a lot of them that I just mentioned are going to be here too as best choices, also effective. And of those, I created 2 recipes for you. So one combines coriander with sweet orange and cedarwood atlas and vanilla. And the other one combines bergamot, lime, frankincense, and spearmint. Now you can absolutely use one of these essential oils, but there's a synergy that's created when you combine 2 or more essential oils that contain the same therapeutic properties. You are going to get a better result. So I highly suggest grabbing at least 2 of these when creating your blend or adding drops to your diffuser or your personal inhaler. So I have, suggestions here, adding 15 drops of one of the blends or at least a combination of some of those essential oils to your inhaler, to your diffuser, maybe your diffuser necklace. You can make a lotion, a perfume. You can add it to your bath. So all of this is found on using eossafely.com/anti-stress-EOS. Or again, you can click right on our magnifying glass on our website and you can find it that way as well. Because there are a lot of things over there. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and it looks like I have quite a few more comments here. Let me scroll back up. Okay, here I am. Michelle, I've been considering sandalwood, so I must buy. I know you know herbs too. Are you certified in herbal use, and will you consider teaching us about herbs ever? Yes! So I am a certified herbalist as well. I must say I'm a little bit more rusty on the herbs and essential oils only because I've been consumed in essential oils the last few years. So I started with essential oils. I took some time to learn about herbs as well. And then I pretty much become full-time on the essential oils. So I will have to look up things a little bit more than with the essential oils. But I would love to someday. You know, it's just everybody's just at me about these essential oils, and I keep thinking of these great resources. And like we just talked about a Hydrosols course and all of this. So maybe someday when I've exhausted all of my resources and I've dumped my brain into more things for you guys to consume, like ebooks or apps or courses, you know, big ones or little ones, and I've done everything I can to get all of my knowledge out there to you, then maybe I can step back a little bit and take time to then also teach you about herbs, because that is what I would love to do. I would love to have, you know, a book of my knowledge per health condition where I'm giving you not just essential oil advice, but also the herbal advice too. So you have some options in there as well as, you know, maybe herbs are going to be better than essential oils, or maybe sometimes essential oils are going to be better than herbs. And of course, hydrosols, you got to throw those in there as well. So yes, I have considered it, and someday, hopefully that will happen. I would absolutely love to be, you know, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, still doing all of this and dumping my knowledge into you guys, because it's a lot of fun for me. I absolutely love it. Okay. So Valentina, can I use hydrosols with my 3-month-old baby? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Kristen, so if your recipe calls for the peppermint hydrosol, where do I get that instead of the essential oil? So here's the thing. You can't swap them for each other. So if I'm asking, or the recipe calls for drops of peppermint essential oil, you can't use drops of peppermint hydrosol, but I do have in there as options for the base that you can use the peppermint hydrosol. It's not going to be as potent as the essential oil, but in that recipe, I do have some options there for you. I like to buy my hydrosols from Garden of Wisdom, and on that hydrosols page, you will see near the bottom, I think it's before all of those little images, there is a 10% off coupon code. I can never remember exactly what it is, but the owner has offered this group that coupon code for 10% off. And the reason why I like them is they sell their hydrosols in amber colored bottles that you can't see through, so that protects any light from getting through. A lot of places sell them in clear bottles, which is also okay. You just have to make sure that you are either you're wrapping labels around it or you're putting it in a cabinet that's dark or whatever. But I also like the variety that they have, and they're very cost effective. So they have a bunch of different ones. Like they have vanilla hydrosol. They even have coffee hydrosol. They have a whole bunch of different ones there. Now, the hydrosols do smell different than the essential oils, by the way. So they are from the same plant matter, but they do not have the same exact aroma because they contain different constituents. So I hope that helped answer your question. Okay, let me just scroll down over here just to make sure that these are laying. Okay, so hydrosol question. Could you pour the hydrosol in the diffuser and turn on with no essential oil drops? You can do that, yes. Would it be expensive? It would be, but just curious if the aroma would still spread out of the diffuser, making it safe for a cat to walk in. You can. The aroma is not going to be as intense. You can do it, and like you mentioned, it's going to be more expensive than just using essential oils, but can you? You can, yes. Will hydrosols corrode plastic like essential oils? No, they will not. Lisa, thank you for your time with us tonight. Good night. Have to go. Thank you so much for staying as long as you did, Lisa. I hope you have a great evening too. And you are very welcome. Charlotte is saying, thank you. You are very welcome. Valentina saying, thank you. You are also welcome. Hey, Kim. Thanks so much for joining. You are the best. Thank you. You are welcome. Okay, so any more questions as my throat is still working? We have 2.5 hours in on this live. You are welcome, Angela. Thanks so much. Good night. Good night, Michelle. Are you guys kicking me off here or what? I feel like I'm being booted. I feel like everybody's saying like, bye. Bye, would you go now? Which I probably should. Okay, guys, I think I will get off now. If you have, okay, here, Jennifer. Is it important to store oils in the refrigerator? Yes, it will extend the shelf life if you store them in the refrigerator. It's a great idea. The only two types of essential oils I don't are the more resinous ones that are sticky anyways, like myrrh. And then also the essential oils that I'm constantly using and cleaning, like tea tree and lemon, that I'm going to go through anyways. But storing essential oils in your refrigerator will extend the shelf life of your essential oils. No, kids are waiting on me to pray. Yeah, I get you, Michelle. Yeah, I get you. My son's going to go to bed very soon. It's 9:48 here. And if I'm not off by 10 because he's on vacation, he's going to be just as happy to stay up, right? Because that's what my kids do. You think they go to bed on time when I go live way longer than I think? No, they stay up. You go ahead, Michelle. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to go off now because everybody's been on here a long time, and I know that you guys, you don't want to miss anything I say. So if I go away now, then you won't feel bad, right? Okay. Okay, guys, you have a wonderful evening. I'm so happy. I'm going to do this at least weekly, okay? I can't guarantee what time it will be, but let's make this regular, okay? Thanks, guys. Have a great night.